ish.
I think we are.
Let's see.
Okay, I tweeted. Do you guys see us on Twitch yet?
Let me check.
I'm so unprepared.
That's fine.
Sometimes you got to be unprepared.
Yeah. Been tagged the Discord. I see that we're up on Twitter, so we should be ready to proceed. Oh. Yeah, it's going to be one of those shows. All right, you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Almost. There we go. Let's see.
Rappers of all time. Think about it. Dylon, 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 and Dylon. Because I spit hot fire.
Perfect.
Welcome, Internet! It's the PSVG podcast with your boy Dad Ninja Dev, Donnie Eat the Hype Reese, and Dylon, and Dylon.
I spit the hot fire.
Too close, man.
You're too close, man.
Oh, that's a way to start something.
Yeah.
So let's start with you, Delvin, because I mean, Florida man, bruh, you always got something happening, something going on. So regale us with some tales from the Florida man.
I'm just going to give everybody a public PSA. If you don't know me, if we're in stores and you're close enough for me to smell your hot Cheetos in your breath, back the fuck up. Because I will hit you. Because this is the thing. I don't know what happened.
You talking in like the checkout line?
Checkout line. When I'm going to pay, when I'm going for my wallet, and you're next to me, I don't know what happened.
It's a super pet peeve of mine as well.
Yeah,
I get really pissed like when I get it like when I'm trying to put my stuff on the conveyor belt. Like don't be cramping my space because I gotta move like up and down the cart. And then when I go to pay, like if you were also close enough to also be paying, you're too close.
Yes,
like you're way too close.
It's happening too often to me now. I tell them like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? And this happened ever since the quote unquote pandemic ended. Like people get way too close to me. And
I think this has always been a thing. This has been a thing forever.
It's gotten worse.
It also pisses me off when people stop in the middle of the aisle.
Oh, that's another annoying thing.
Yeah, like on the traffic lanes, like don't stop and look down the aisle. Like, get out of the way. Either going down the aisle or not, but do not stop.
Yeah, just move your car out the way so I can get by. And don't like just block both sides of the aisle. Like you're not the only fucking person here.
Like they'll stop and just have conversations. You ever catch those people that know each other?
Get out.
And they're walking by each other and then they just stop to talk. It's like, what are we doing? Take this outside. Like we've got Facebook for this. What's going on?
It's even worse.
Get on one side, please, so we can the rest of us can shop. Come on.
It's even worse with old black men. Because then they get together, they block the whole aisle, and they're loud, talking about the basketball from the 40s, having a conversation in the middle of the whole store that everybody can hear. Like, what are you doing?
I love listening to old
black men.
I love listening to old black folks talk basketball.
Old black men. Yeah, we're old black men.
They'll talk about somebody I've never heard of. They'll be like, man, do you know Joe Smith Jr. II? That dude, you talk about LeBron, you don't know anything. You know, it's like, what are you talking about?
They will tell you about people that you don't know, that you've never met.
You think Steph Curry could shoot? You ain't never seen Brandon Jones. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He stayed on 62nd Street. You remember Brandon? No, I don't
Like,
live here.
did he play in the league? Nah. ABA? Mm-mm.
No,
Nope.
on the corner.
He played at 12th and 5th. Best player I've ever seen. Like, man, what are we talking about?
That is exactly what they do.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh wow, wow.
Yeah,
Speaking of
that's
which,
my life.
Bob Lanier passed away, man. Rip to the ambassador.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just old man basketball. The 40s though, yeah, that's real specific, Delvin. The 40s. I can't even.
Yeah.
Nah.
Closer to death. That much closer. I'm just looking at it. That's all you gotta say. Just that much closer. Just look at it like,
Oh God.
hello, death. I
There's
see
death
you
right
looking.
there.
Grim
There's
Reaper
the
just
edge.
looking at me. You ready yet? Like, nah, not yet.
Jeez.
Give me
Let me
some
get
more
one
time.
more round. One more round.
Yeah.
One more round. Let's go. One more.
Yes.
What about you, Donnie? How's your week been?
Pretty good, man. I just woke up. I was telling Dev when he
Nice.
joined the call.
Yeah.
I literally just woke up like maybe 15 minutes ago. I did a presentation today for a conference, and whatever reason, man, no real reason. It's not like it was super hard to do or anything, and it wasn't even that long, but man, I clocked out around 5:30. I was just tired as hell. I didn't eat dinner. I didn't do anything. I just went and laid in the bed and turned on a podcast. And then I woke up my wife making a bunch of noise when she got home, because that's what she does. She swears she doesn't, but she makes all kinds of noise.
Yeah.
Just
You gotta
waking
come
me up,
home making a bunch of noise just in case there's somebody in the house. You gotta announce your
disturbing my
presence.
cats. No. It was specifically to wake me up. She was shuffling through drawers, and I bought her this jewelry box that hangs on her closet door. I swear to you, that woman hasn't opened that box in 4 years. And she was all in there today, just all kinds of rattling around. I was like, what are you doing? Scared my cats away. I had cats laying with me. Man, I was in a deep state. I was just tired. I felt like I've been generally tired, like just kind of this week. I haven't particularly wanted to play a bunch of video games. I just haven't been in the mood. Like, I haven't been up for it. And it's just kind of like a mental energy. It's just kind of like, oh, I just don't want to. I've been watching a lot of TV shows. I did have something I wanted to bring up to you guys, but I'm almost scared to, because it's somewhat political, right? And then I know how listeners feel that way about
You know
stuff
how
like
I am.
that.
Bring up whatever you want to bring.
Yeah, I want to talk about
I'm here
something,
for
because
it.
I was
I'm here for
watching
it.
something the other day. But before I do that, Dev,
Mhm.
I want to tell you that you've created a monster,
Oh Lord.
because I was bored this week.
What did I do?
Haven't been playing a whole lot. Been watching stuff. Finished Winning Time, by the way.
Nice.
Needed. I didn't like the series finale nearly as much as the penultimate episode. I think the episode before it, I think, is my favorite of the season. Needed a new show to watch, and I've been considering trying this for a long time, and I love Yellowstone. I watched like 6 straight episodes. I'm deep into it. It's Sons of Anarchy, but cowboys, and it is fantastic. And I just keep watching it.
So good.
I started watching without my wife, and now she's upset
Mhm.
because she's like, "Oh, I want to watch it with you."
Yeah.
I'm like, "That's your problem." Like, I started watching. You need to catch up, because like this train ain't a slowing down. Like, this train has left the station. I am all in on this stuff. So I'm not waiting for her either. But I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it.
I need to get into that.
Nice.
It's
I made
really
a
good
mistake
show.
Good.
because
It's real good.
It's literally Sons of Anarchy. Like, really, it's just boy drama is really kind of what it is. And that what's her name? The daughter?
Daughter. Oh, she's
What
great.
a smoke show.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that makes it good as well. Okay, so I had this like looming doom, like this dread feeling the other night, and it's not that it's definitely like dawned on me, because it's not new, but I think it just hit me in like a whole different way, that I think Donald Trump's going to be the next president.
Yeah.
yeah,
And the reason I bring it up, and I hate to bring the show down this way, it's just that, dude, this country is fascinated by him. Whether you like him or don't, it doesn't matter. Dude, I'm like on YouTube, right? And it's inescapable. He's the top of every monologue on every late night talk show, right? Like Fallon, Kimmel, Myers, they all talk about Trump. He's constantly all over Fox News. And when he's constantly all over Fox News, guess what? He's constantly all over, ABC and CNN and their counter programming. Like, he's just everywhere. He's in the news this week. Elon Musk, right? Talking about Twitter and stuff. Like, he won't go away.
Right.
I feel like there's 35 headlines with Trump to every one there is of Biden or any other person. Like, his I don't know what it is. His popularity or his fame is like inescapable. And you'd think I thought, especially this time last year, I was like, oh, that dude is gone. Like, he's done. Nope. Like, 100% you can like just solicit an entire group of people to storm the Capitol. And I feel like he's grown in popularity since. Like, I feel like I'm hearing more about him now in absence of him than I was when he was the president.
I don't think it's that. I think
it's just clicks, because people know if you have stuff about Trump, people are going to watch it, whether it's good, bad, and
it is depressing.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying. Like, this feeling of dread, but like, you can't escape it. It's everywhere.
It's one of those things where Trump is controversial, and his controversy works because the people who don't like him will click to check him out, and the people who do like him will click to check him out. I think that's more or less what it is. I don't know if they will vote for him more so or less. I think the problem is that Joe Biden, frankly speaking, is boring. And I think he doesn't
generate any kind of interest.
Yeah, he's not an interesting, fascinating character like Trump is. Even Trump's a walking sitcom. Whatever you want to call him. Basically. He's a meme.
Yeah. News is not reporting news. They're not doing it to actually inform you about anything nowadays. News is really just like, how do we get people to watch? Put on something that'll have viewers tune in and keep coming back. It's not really about reporting anything important. They'll throw in something that may be important sometimes, but for the most part, it's really about just trying to engage viewers. It's not really about reporting anymore.
Yeah.
It's just clicks.
And I don't know what to like. I don't know how to feel or what to. It is depressing, or it's just kind of like it's woeful. Like I was watching. I don't know. I was watching one of the late night comics. I don't watch all the time, so I'm not super. Who's the former Comedy Central guy who does the Late Show now? Colbert. Stephen Colbert. And it's what is it? It's May 5th. And his opening monologues about Trump and about all the things he hates about him. I'm like, but yet you still give this man constant airtime. Like, it's hypocritical for you to constantly be bringing him up. Like, you have nothing better to talk about.
Yeah,
stop.
That's kind of what it is.
Just stop. Stop. You're giving him so much power.
So many more things we could be talking about. So many more things.
That's why stories like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock last for so long, because people like drama. They like they're fascinated with drama and conflict. So Trump is the king of doing that. Just that. He'll sit there and say something crazy, and people will just lap to it, whether they hate him or love him. And it's kind of brilliant.
It's like
it sucks, but
one long season of The Apprentice. It just has never ended.
Unfortunately, I kind of feel like we have to hit rock bottom as a country to overcome this, unfortunately.
And that wasn't January 6th?
We didn't. Right.
Oh, no.
That didn't just happen?
January 6th, that wasn't rock bottom?
I think we can get a lot worse.
Oh, my God. That's terrifying.
And that's the crazy thing about it.
Was the Civil War. Rock bottom, I feel like, actually helps him more, because then he can enact martial law, and then we become freaking Handmaid's Tale. Like that's just... I don't want to hit rock bottom. Can we please
I don't think nobody wants to hit rock bottom. But
I think when I'm sick, right, I think I just watch too much YouTube. I'm just like churning through content because I'm not feeling well and I just want to veg out. And as I dip a toe, I'm just like, man, this guy is ubiquitous with everything. Like, I was watching some report on like the Senate race in Ohio, and it was all about Trump. I'm like, what? He's not even, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, asking who's backing who. Is Trump backing the guy who's running and stuff like that? I was reading about that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, if the Democrats could just start playing like the Republicans and being like, "Fuck you, we gonna do things and push stuff through instead of,"
and unfortunately,
the right way.
The dreadful part is
this
that
was gonna happen.
They're not doing a whole lot to change that outcome from happening.
At all.
It's not like they're killing it right now.
Yeah, they're trying to do things the right way by trying to be partisan and get everybody involved, and then they can't even get along. They can't even agree on anything. It's nothing is happening. Nothing good.
So I hate to bring the show down like that, but I was feeling. I don't really have people to talk politics to, but I was just watching YouTube stuff, and I was like, "Oh man, I don't want to watch To Catch a Predator just to get away from this." Like that is.
You gotta fix your algorithm, man.
I need to lighten my day.
Right? I need to get away from this terrible feeling. So let's move on to this. But video games. I did play Switch Sports. Me and the family did some bowling over the weekend.
I love that you put Wii Sports in the notes, not
Switch
Sports.
I just refuse to call it Switch Sports for whatever reason. Like to me, it's just I wish they would have kept calling it Wii Sports. You know, it's selling like insanely well.
Mm-hmm.
It was the top of like UK's game chart. Like it's flying off the shelves. It's not even that good, but yeah. And then I've been playing Far Cry 5, which
we know
it works, right? Like all this stuff we just talked about. Plus, I'm watching Yellowstone. What a perfect pairing to play with it.
Oh yeah,
I'm playing
100%.
Far Cry 5, and I am having a blast. I've already completed an entire region. I'm almost done. I'm not almost done. I just started on Faith's region. I'm trying to play out of order with the way that I played the first time. It's amazing how many like side stuff I either didn't do or don't remember doing. I don't think I ever did the quest where you find everybody's lighters or like lighters scattered all over the map. It's like this giant collectathon mission. I'm definitely doing that. I was like, oh, that sounds fun. It's just like a time waster. It's just a really great, as I see Forrest Minish, it's actually Wii Sports 4, not 2. You have Wii Sports Resort, Wii Sports Club U, and then Switch Sports. So it should be Wii Sports 4. I think the game would have sold better if they had named them Wii Sports 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's neither here nor there. So I'm playing Far Cry 5. I'm playing at 4K 60 on my powerful Alienware PC, and it is just it's so much better than Far Cry 6. Now that I'm replaying it, I'm like, I 100% believe this. It's so good. It's still so good. It's still so good. And yeah, when you start feeling dreadful around the world around you, go to Hope County, Montana, and just start blowing those motherfuckers up. Like that's, man, it felt good then. It feels good now. And it's a perfect game to play for me, not only because it's one of my favorite games of this past console generation. This is a perfect type of game for me to play right now, where I don't really have like a brand new title that I'm fully into, and I don't really have anything on the horizon that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to just play 60 hours of that game until it's finished. Like I'm just kind of hanging out right now, and man, good fit. So I'm glad Garrett Bland kind of got the train rolling, and I think I picked up his flag and just ran forward with it because I haven't stopped playing. And it was one of those things where I didn't play for like 4 or 5 days, and I was thinking, I was like, maybe I should try something else, maybe play some Fallout or something. And I was like, well, I'll just finish the region. I picked up and played for like 5 hours, didn't stop playing. I was like, well, I'm just gonna keep playing this for a while because it's really, really good.
Very nice, very nice. What about you, Delvin? You got a nice little list of things you've been playing.
Yeah, I finally finished Forbidden West. I said, fuck that, I'm not doing this platinum. No, like after I finished the game,
so close.
Like, I don't care. Fuck that. Like they were like, you got 10
it's
more.
It's not even hard stuff.
No, I don't.
Like care. I looked at your trophies to compare to see how close we were. I'm like, dude, you're like right there.
I don't want to play Machine Strike. I don't want to do none of those stupid things where you have to go
like
fight
I knew this was
arena.
coming. I've been waiting for this moment. Like this
I'm not
time.
doing none of that stuff. I got to the end. There's something that happened close to the end. I'm like, I don't know if I want to finish this game. And Dev knows exactly what I'm talking about.
God, that pissed me off.
Yeah, and once I saw it, like, it's time to just end this game. Once that happened, I'm like, yeah, it's time to wrap this up, homie. I'm done. And I had fun with the end. I don't want to do none of the challenges, man. It's like, okay, that's cool. I missed one machine, and it's not the last one. So if you think I'm going to go around the whole map looking for one, because y'all scan all the machines, something like that, I'm not doing that. Not a chance in hell.
Was it a variant of a machine, or was it like an actual type of machine?
I'm quite sure it was a variant of something.
Okay.
Something stupid like that. But since I finished that, I had more time to play other games, which made me very happy. So
Elden Ring.
No, I didn't even play that one this week because, and this is why.
Boo.
I hit up Shinobi602. You might know him on Twitter, and he gave me a code for this game called Arise: A Simple Story.
We've played it.
It's a fun game. It is. interesting, fun game. I know, Donnie, you said you played it, but the concept of this game is like I don't want to spoil it, but the game starts off and your character is essentially dead, and they're like having like his funeral and stuff. And then you wake up. I want to say it's like a variation of heaven almost. And you're like going through these areas that you have to like solve these puzzles by using the right analog stick to change the season on the world. So like, let's say there's like one point is winter. If you move the analog stick to the right, it turns to fall. And if either or winter, if it's winter, it turns to summer. And if it's ice there, it'll turn the ice to water. And you kind of can float on like logs and stuff like that. It's a really relaxing, interesting game to play. And I'm having a blast with it. It's not stressful. I'm not worried about getting the platinum. I'm not worried about no trophies. It's just the game that I'm playing it on the Xbox, by the way. It's just one of those games you just sit there.
I thought I played it on Game Pass. I know it just hit Switch, but I thought I played it on Game Pass. I'm fairly certain I did.
You probably did.
Or an early preview, but I've played it. I didn't finish it, but yeah, it's nice. It's kind of like an old school adventure game. You know, like a little puzzle platformer, but light on both. Kind of like maybe not even as much as like an old Spyro game or something like that.
Not even close. It's like it's a game that's meant for you to play and relax with it. It's not like the puzzles are super easy. It's not stressful.
It's an easy game. It's chill.
If you quote unquote die, which you really don't do, you're right back at the place of the puzzle where you can just finish it off. And it's an interesting story. It's kind of a story of like lost love and afterlife, and so far I like it a lot. And I didn't think I would.
Get very reflective.
Yes, it's good. I like it a lot. I plan on finishing. I don't think it's that long. I'm on Act 3. I want to say. I think it's 5 acts, but yeah, it's really good. I'm surprised how good it is.
Solid.
You guys mind bearing with me while I see if something works?
Sure.
I guess.
I'll try a little something. Let's see what happens here.
Okay.
No, come on. Do you see my screen?
I do. Yeah, I can add it to the thing.
I don't see anything.
Do you want me to add it to the screen?
Yeah. Go ahead. Do that. So I was just thinking we could, actually play what you're talking about so the people can see.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Super choppy, but yeah, that works.
Ah, boo. I just thought we'd try something out.
It's really choppy.
Boo.
Oh, yeah, that was a good idea, though. if it worked, it'd have been perfect. But yeah, I enjoyed my time in the game. Another game I played, I'll talk about when Dev talks about it because he's playing it as well. But I've also played, surprising to everybody, Blood Hunt the Masquerade. Do you guys know what this game is?
Mm-hmm.
This is the multiplayer.
You playing Battle Royale or?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a Battle Royale, yeah. I haven't gotten that far yet, Nick. I only played because they have solo missions / tutorials that you can play first. So I've been playing that first. And so far, it plays really good. Like surprisingly well. You're basically a vampire and you're on this big open map that you run around and you have to kill other vampires, of course. And also there's like civilians in the area that you can bite their necks and suck the blood out, essentially like that. But you have to do it when no one is looking, because if they're looking, then they'll call a blood hunt on you, and then like police or whatever you want to call it will chase after you and try to kill you. It's fun for what I played. I'm playing solo so far, but it's a fun little game. And I once I get the tutorial done, I'll probably play a couple rounds of it to see how it feels playing with other people. But yeah, I like it.
Thanks.
You gonna play with other people? Holy!
Not for.
I also played the game that you guys are going to talk about.
Oh, so we could just wait till Dev start talking about it then.
I mean, I'm playing Forbidden West. It's Forbidden West. I got to the same point that Delvin got that made me want to turn the shit off. Like I had
to tell him to keep playing.
This is what we're gonna do here. Like I'm good.
This is for the trophy or to complete the story?
To complete the story.
Oh no! Don't say that.
Yeah,
I'm further along than Delvin is with the trophies. Like, I'm definitely gonna platinum. Like, that's not gonna be a problem for me. But I think what happens is way more personal for me and Delvin than like it really being like a bad like storytelling beat. Like it works. It just, I think personally,
it's a bad trope.
It just pissed me off.
Okay, now that wasn't anywhere where my mind was when you guys first started talking about it. Okay.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make the game any worse. Like, the story is still really good. It's just one of those things where it's just like, really, we had to do this. Like, I mean, I don't know how late it was, but I sent my boy Jermaine a message at like 11 o'clock my time when I was playing. I think I texted Delvin like in the morning, but I was just like, seriously, this is what I was just really pissed me off. But I'm still really enjoying the game. Delvin was like, man, just keep playing. Trust me, it's still good. Just keep going. So I kept playing. I'm still really, really enjoying the story. I love the way all the companions are coming together. I love where it's going and what's happening. Still really enjoying it. Still loving the combat and everything. Like last night, I was playing the game, but I wasn't playing the game. Like, I'm at a point where there's just a lot of dialogue you can get. So I would say probably for about 30 minutes, I was just listening to dialogue, just going and talking to all the characters and just listening to dialogue. Because the story is just so good. Like, I want to hear the story. So it was like watching a show.
Once you get to a certain part, the game is done. It's like, all right, you want to do the final mission or not? That's kind of what it is. You can listen to these people talk or do the final mission. That's essentially what it is. I can tell
that's basically like about to be where I'm at. So I was like, let me just talk to other people and just basically watch the story play out. So it was like watching a show for 30 minutes is really what it was. But it was all really, really, really good storytelling. So that was enjoyable. So yeah, I'm almost done with that. Definitely gonna get the platinum because unlike Delvin, I still want to do all this stuff. And I did pretty much everything. Like all of my side quests, all of that stuff is empty. Like, I'm done with everything up to this point.
You did the machine strikes and all that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'd have done them earlier, I probably would have went for the platinum.
It's only 2 games though. Like,
I don't
you can just go play 2 basic beginner ass games. No, so
I don't want to play it.
That was easy. Yeah, defeated the enduring, did all that stuff. So yeah, it's easy. Like, I don't have a whole lot left to do. So we'll go ahead and knock that platinum out, and then I'll probably jump into Far Cry 5 and see what I missed, because
apparently you never played this game.
No, I played it. I played it for quite some time.
I don't think you did.
And just
he didn't even know like who Nick Rye is. I don't think he did.
Oh, because I didn't want to go there. I don't like those characters, so I had no desire to go.
You didn't meet
Nick.
Those characters.
I met.
How do you know you don't like them?
Because I don't like Nick Rye. I'm good on Nick.
Could you imagine if I said that and about a game that Dev likes? If it was Miles Morales, like I didn't want to beat those people.
You definitely can't say that about Miles.
I feel like you say that all the time,
right?
As much as you talk about Miles Morales, I didn't like that story. I
never said I didn't like the story. That's not my issue at all with Miles Morales.
Face.
I told you I like Miles Morales. I like the deaf girl. Like I liked a lot of the game. I just thought it was a little bit too much of the same, especially like in the mission structure and the animation department. It was just a lot of the same.
A lot of people say that, but I didn't mind.
Isn't that every game though? I mean,
no, I think that's what people say.
Far Cry is the same thing.
It's not at all, actually. And playing Far Cry 5, I can tell you that I noticed myself trying to double jump, and I missed the Supremos from Far Cry 6 because I had the Pyro Supremo that let me jump and kind of skip, and because it was all about traversal and speed. Yeah. And going back to Far Cry 5 now, it feels slow. So no, I disagree with that premise. I think that's what people say about games and repetitiveness to people that say they don't like.
I'm not bothered by it. I'm not bothered by the repetitiveness of it at all.
But no, I definitely, I just felt like it was just, I was hoping for just a little more, I guess, change to the formula, and there wasn't a whole lot there. So that's why I think it's not that it's bad, right? That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just what my expectation, different character, different story, like they'd vary it up a bit. And that's why I thought it was funny. Was it Rob? I don't remember who it was in the Discord. They were like, I just finished this one and I was ready for it to be over. Now I'm going to go play the other one. I was like, spoiler alert.
It's the same game.
Like, if you thought this one was repetitive, like, get ready for more of the same.
It was somebody else.
Yeah,
Rob was like, which one should I play? I was like, just play Miles Morales. Like,
spoiler alert, you're just going to get a lot of the same stuff. And I also didn't, obviously it's a smaller game, So I don't think it's fair to compare the stories because the first one had more room, had more content, room to breathe. But I enjoyed the story for one far better than the second one. Not because I think one is better than the other or the characters. It's just it was a grander tale, right? And it was a bigger tale. So I wanted more of that. And I really did not like the final mission in Miles Morales. That was very like infamous. Just here's everybody at a giant compound and go through and just beat up as many people as you can. I was kind of over it by then.
I love that stuff.
Was
How
over
many
by
of you
then.
assholes can I just completely
Now, like the Miles Morales aspects again, like the and I'm not a video game fan, so folks don't come at me for butchering Spider-Man.
Video game fan?
But, I mean, I'm sorry, the comic book fan. But was it the apartment building or the shelter that he was assisting, and then like him at home, like at Christmas, and having like to restore the power and do all that stuff was great. Could have used way more of it. And I think that was kind of where I felt like with Miles Morales. Again, not bad. It was fine. Just felt like DLC. It really felt like DLC to me.
The story felt more personal than Miles Morales in terms of like it felt more like
I think it would have for me if there was more of it. For it was like a lot of it was like here are these bits that make Miles different, but then largely here's the same Spider-Man game. You're still gonna chase the car, you're still gonna get the cell phone message, you're still gonna do that. I was like, So
I liked it more than the first one. But again, I think it just hits a little different. But Far Cry 5, like, I don't know. The characters to me are just, I'm not that interested.
Dev hates white people.
I don't know what it is.
That's what it is. That's what we've learned. We've learned that Dev likes games with black folks. Doesn't like games with white folks. That's what we got. He hates that you can customize the boss. He hates Peter Parker, Spider-Man 1.
The boss.
He likes Miles Morales. Like we get it.
I wonder how you feel about Latino people.
Yeah.
I love Latino people.
Yeah, of course. That's what we've learned.
I mean, look, Far Cry 6, man, give me Danny all day long. Let's fucking go.
I'm playing as the sheriff. I've unlocked the thing, so I am the sheriff. Which I think is funny when you go and meet the sheriff. Because I picture in my head like the two people staring at each other. Which is funny. I did take like a photo mode of them like talking to each other. It's funny.
Like the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you mean. What you're talking about? Oh, so you're playing as you unlock
my custom. Yeah, my custom suit is the sheriff.
I forgot what
as the sheriff
looked like.
That's because it's unimportant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's first person. You're never gonna see them. Just like
unless you pop into photo mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't take very many photos in that game, but I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna play it. We'll see if
he's gonna come tell us how bad it is.
Yeah,
he's gonna double down on his opinion.
Bad. I don't think the game is bad.
I'm sticking to my original story.
As Far Cry 6 is, all right.
Why did you make me play this game, Donnie?
I didn't make him play anything.
I was gonna say.
Prefer that you not actually.
No, I'm play fucking shit all over it.
Of course, like he's just gonna play it just to find things. He's just gonna scour just to find things.
No, if you remember, I enjoyed my time with Far Cry 5. The story just didn't keep me invested enough to want to keep playing.
I'm just giving
that's basically what it boiled down to. All right?
Hopefully, our listeners know us by now.
I'm glad you're enjoying your trip back to Hope.
You're just
County,
racist, which would make you think that you like Far Cry 5. I would imagine you'd very much enjoy just mowing down waves of people.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not as sad. Well, the bow is very satisfying. So yes, I do love
the bow. Sucks
in the head with the bow. I like it.
It's much better.
I like bows. Period. You know what's funny? I didn't use the bow as much in Far Cry 6. I found
we can't agree on anything.
Early. I didn't say it wasn't as good. I just didn't use it as much. I found a better rifle that had so much more range that I was just sniping everybody. Like I
like the compound bow in 6. I carried that frequently.
Combat bow.
I did too. I just never used it. Like I had it always. It was always an option.
Well, I had explosive ammo.
Rifle was
so my compound bow is like a rocket launcher. That's
yeah. I use that too for helicopters, so I can get my Rambo on.
Yeah.
All right. So Trek to Yomi. I played about 15 minutes of it.
I played through chapter 2
to friends, and I didn't get very far because they were talking and I couldn't understand the game. I was like, I can't play this. I'm gonna go play something where I don't have to listen to the story because I can't multitask. So you guys tell me your feelings on Trek to Yomi because it looks amazing.
I think I'm on chapter 2 as well.
I'm through chapter 2. That's when I called it quits, and I won't be returning to it. I don't think it's very good.
Oh.
It's okay.
It's okay. I agree. I think it's good. I don't know if I want to get further into it. I like
if this
stories
game
more.
wasn't in black and white and didn't have the heavy film grain filter over it, if it was just in color at its current animation level, it wouldn't be very good at all.
It's very stylized.
And the style, I 100% think that, like, and I don't want to be mean, obviously. I love Devolver.
Be
and
mean.
Usually want to
Be mean.
But there's a part when I was playing and I was like, if you just added color to this, took the film grain filter off, which you can do, you can turn it off. If you just added color to it at its current like level of animation, if you could just imagine what it looked like in color, what they did is they took a mediocre game and they made it look awesome. Like with the effects that they did, like it looks, like that samurai look and feel. It's got it because of the heavy film grain, the black and white. It's nice. It's very nice. But if it didn't have those things, if you removed it, I think it's an okay game. It's an average game. I've played a lot of games, I feel like, that are similar like it. Was that the Monkeys of Shaolin game that came out a while ago? Is not that different than this game. I mean, it's just kind of,
It does feel repetitive a little bit.
yeah, I mean, it's just kind of basic. It's simple, right? You get a light attack, a heavy attack. You get shurikens you can throw and stuff like that. But I mean, you just kind of go through the areas and you parry enemies' attacks and you mow them down with your sword. I found it to be pretty. I mean, there was a fair amount of challenge to it, especially on the parry timing. I died a few times on normal. So I can only imagine, like, if it was on hard or something. I don't care enough about the story, but I'm also not that into samurai stuff. So I won't even go there and try to critique it, because if you're into samurai stuff, you might really appreciate it. I don't think it's bad. I think the cutscenes and stuff that they're doing are fairly good. I think the style does a lot for this game. I think the style really carries the flag for this game. If you're really into the style, you might like it, because if it's enough to carry you. But after playing it, I don't know, maybe like 2 hours, I think, maybe not even that far, 90 minutes, something like that, I had enough. Like, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I went back to playing Far Cry 5.
See, this always makes me wonder. So then what makes a game good? Is it just your enjoyment level? Is it a combination of things? Because like you said,
Always a
it's just
combination
okay.
of things.
But if somebody like really enjoys the samurai stuff,
Then
that
you
could be
really like it.
great. Like it's
Yep.
so interesting on how you have to balance So how many games are just like really just mediocre games, but because it's something that you really enjoy, it just puts it over the top.
Which is why I always try to admit when something is a bother to me. I always try to be forthcoming about that. Like, I'm not into samurai stuff. I said it a bunch when I was playing Ghost of Tsushima. This game is not like Ghost of Tsushima is way better than this game. But to answer that question, not to go too far off a tangent, for me, it can be IP or art style, or it can be gameplay and mechanics. And it's got to be something in that regard has got to hit for me. And if they hit with me on multiple checkpoints, then you find a game that you really, really like. Like, I love the art, the style of The Last of Us. Just like the overgrown post-pandemic, like, I find that style to be beautiful. I also happen to like action games, light stealth-based games. I like Metal Gear and Deus Ex, so like it fits for me on multiple checkboxes. Think of a Zelda. I like colorful art styles. That's why I like Wind Waker so much. That's why it's my favorite. I also happen to think Wind Waker has the best combat in a Zelda game. I don't think it's close, actually. I think it's very good. I think it's by far better. So for me, there's usually multiple fronts. I always think it's a combination of both. And then sometimes things just hit with you. Like, why do you like a specific song? I'm sure everybody loved a song 10 years ago that they don't like as much now. Like, sometimes things are at the right time, the right place. You're in the right mindset to really enjoy something. And other times you're not. So, but for me, yeah, this isn't doing it for me much.
Yeah. So that's why I always want to be like, so I try not to say that this game isn't good or it's bad. I try to just say I don't like it or it wasn't for me. Like, that's where I always try to
think
toe
of
the
it
line.
Like it's a linear path, action-based side scroller. And in that regard, it's very basic. And that's what I mean by like mediocre. Like, it's so much propped up on its style, right? If you just strip it down to its gameplay elements, we've seen games do this way better than this. Like they're much better side-scrolling action games than this.
What
But if you're
makes it
really
better?
into samurai stuff and the art style appeals to you, you might find a bit more enjoyment, a bit more run out of it than those other things.
So like I have a friend who I work with who loves games that are just way more basic. Like he hates when they add so many button
Sure.
presses or so many
Yeah.
combinations. So for him, those games are horrible. You give him something that's like
I hear that a lot
very,
with
very
sports games.
straightforward.
Mhm.
Yeah, very, very straightforward and everything. That's a great game for him. So it's like it's such a weird way that we have to review and critique games because like you may feel like it's not good, but it's just not good for you. You don't enjoy it, but it's somebody's treasure. Like it's just such an interesting way to look at games and have to always critique them, in my opinion. It's interesting.
Well,
Always
and
found
as
it
we
interesting.
always argue and debate, and the thing that we always come up to is I can only speak on my own opinion.
Yeah.
Right. I can't make an opinion that's representative of everybody else.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there are people out there like this game. But like for me, like I would think of something like Katana Zero. It's a way better game than this.
Love that game. Love Katana Zero. Oh, that thing is beautiful.
Yeah. But Delvin, I keep talking over you, man.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
I think you kind of nailed it. I think this is a game that is very stylized, very basic, and it can be repetitive. I think the combat is made in such where it's very parry focused, and you have to like not only like time your parries right and things like that. It's not hard. I don't think it's hard.
I don't think the parry feels very good either.
It's not there. It's not maybe
it's not like
does
fluid.
it feel as bad as Kina? Because I could not stand Kina's parry.
No. Kina is a way better game than this.
I'm talking about just the parry mechanic.
I know. Yeah, and I was with you too. We talked about that. Like I found the parry mechanic in Kina just really short and hard to really time.
Yeah.
This one is just odd. Like I feel like at times it slows down. Like is it like a slowdown timer? But I don't necessarily always feel in control of when that happens. Sometimes I parry and it doesn't happen, and sometimes I parry and it does happen. I'm not sure if I'm like, am I pulling off like a better parry, like a super parry?
I'm wondering if that's like the perfect parry, because like in Ghost of Tsushima, when you get the perfect parry, it slows down.
That's kind of what I find sometimes, and then other times I just kind of parry and like the speed of the combat stays the same. But it just doesn't feel like and I hate to bring it up because it's a completely different game, but just to make an example, and Devin, I don't think you'll know what this feels like, but in Wind Waker, the parry is very like rewarding. Like when you parry, it's a very fluid animation. Link rolls behind the person, and like you get like a free shot, and it just comes out of nowhere. And like the game, I don't know, like it feels in time with the combat. Like I always really much enjoyed pulling them off. I was like, gotcha. Right? I don't feel that at all in this game. It feels boring. Like I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna hit the button. You know, like it doesn't feel fun to do.
I'm hoping as the game progresses, that gets more advanced as you get more moves and repertoire and things like that. It gets more complex. But like
you do get combos, like heavy combos.
It feels basic, and that's not a bad thing. But it's like, okay, this is what the game is, and because the game, I like the fact that the game starts off, you're kind of like in this 3D scope where you can move around the area and things like that. But when you go into combat, you fight in 2D.
Yeah,
I like that aspect of it. I like it's telling a story like most samurai stories about revenge and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys noticed. I don't know if you guys noticed it. There was one part in the game where if you walk by a certain area, you see heads like they're watching a movie. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Like I said, I remember that 15 minutes.
It's right in the beginning of the game. Like if you're walking walking past areas, you can see like it looks like a movie, like a movie theater, like somebody's watching this in the movie. I think it's little stylized things like that are really cool that I like about the game. But like you said, Donnie, I'll agree with you. It's a lot of flash, but not enough substance yet.
I enjoyed finding collectibles. I think I found a bunch before I decided to quit. So, I mean, I always enjoy that in a game that rewards you for like going left when you should go right and stuff like that. But
yeah,
when you get your collectibles, do you want them to unlock something, or is it just the satisfaction of saying, "Oh, I found this"?
I want to unlock something.
Yeah, either way.
I wanted to unlock something. If I'm just collecting to collect things, like I don't want to collect. I want this to lead me to a more powerful something.
I'm with you. I mean, I like that in games, but like if it's just cosmetic or just a collection, like I don't mind that either. I enjoyed finding collectibles in The Last of Us, in Uncharted, and also like in Kinna. Enjoyed finding all of the rots and stuff. Like it didn't bother me. But I mean, I find it more rewarding.
For the trophy.
I will spend more time looking for things if there is something beneficial at the end of the rainbow.
I like in Uncharted that how Nathan Drake tells you, like when you find a collectible, he tells you the history of it. I like those things like that with it. But if it's just picking up something like, oh, I just picked up a cup, and that's it, like I don't care about that.
But there's a lot of, I want to say that's a very PlayStation thing, because for a while there are a lot of those PlayStation games like the Uncharted and stuff. They had collectibles. You pick up something, you can go into your menu and you can read about it. You think of like the order and stuff like that. Like this game, that's what this game does. You find a collectible and you go into your menu and you can kind of see it and read it. And I mean, I just feel like that's, normal. It's kind of what some games do.
Yeah. Just better be a trophy tied to that, some achievement, something.
Yeah.
I'm going to collect all this stuff. I want an achievement, or I want it to become some badass weapon or something.
Yeah. I don't want to just be collecting.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny you guys say that, but like I played through The Last of Us the first time, and on my third playthrough, I specifically went and played trying to find all the Firefly pendants, which is just collecting just for the achievement, like just collecting.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun doing
it.
Actually.
I don't even bother trying to collect stuff in Naughty Dog games. Like I just don't, because it's so fucking many of them. You miss so many of them. You don't get the trophy. You got to play through the game like 17 times.
I think it adds
replay value. Bother with trophies.
That's why it's there. Like I think that's why it's there.
Once I'm done with the story, I typically ain't going back. So that stuff is just lost on me, because I'm not gonna replay the game again most times. So, but I'm glad that it does add that replay value, because there are definitely people who are gonna go back and play the game on nightmare mode to try to play.
I can't imagine playing this game. Honestly, I was thinking about it when I played it, because I played it on normal, and at one point, like with the heavy soldier, I died like 4 or 5 times in a row. And I was like, man, I need to put this on easy, and I never did. But I was thinking to myself, I was like, I wonder what this game is like on like hard, because like then maybe you truly feel like the master of the sword, right? Like where your parry is integral, like you have to parry multiple attacks. But like all games like this, they start throwing enemies in front of you, behind you. You've got to attack multiple at one time. The purist in me, like when I get games like that, like I kind of want to beat them ups. Like I want to be able to do damage. And this game, I just don't feel like it's very rewarding to attack people. Like, and I think that's why I quit, because like I would just parry and just slice and they're done. And I'd slice and it's like, it's not fun. Like to me, when I love games like that, but but games like this, I want to do damage. Right, like I want to drop kick somebody to the side of the screen. I want to throw them through a crate. I want stuff to break. I want animations to happen. I want to see blood. Like I want reaction. Too much of it was just like, slice, they fall down. Slice, they fall down.
Slice, like parry and like slice off their head. Like, can I get a decapitation?
No.
Ah, boo! Come on,
so like
decapitation.
So when I start thinking of things,
slice off an arm, something.
When I start thinking of similar things, like Katana Zero, where like he does that super swipe, right? And he goes swing, right? Or you think of like Castle Crashers being able to like like air attack and air juggle folks along, or Streets of Rage, things like that. Different style of games, but similar type of combat. They're rewarding, they're fun to do. That's my biggest issue, is I don't actually feel like it's a whole lot of fun to play.
We shall see, because like I said, I'm only 15 minutes in. I feel the game is like 6 hours long or something like that. So
it's not very long.
super deep.
I don't know how many acts there are, but I finished the second one, and I thought a tweet said that there were like 4 or 5. So I felt like I was like maybe halfway through or close to halfway through, and I was like, I'm not going to keep doing this. So that's when I just uninstalled it.
All right, enough about Trek to Yomi. Donnie, hit me with some of this news.
Before we get into the news, I'm going to play an old bumper, because we had a new bumper that got submitted, but it was audio only. And because I just woke up, I've got to convert it into a video. I've got to find a backdrop. So I just wanted that person to know, like, we're going to get to your video clip. Thank you for sending it in. But in the meantime, let's see here. Enjoy Jeff Grubb.
Okay, Google, make Donnie read me the news. You ever wonder where these things end up? Who's watching?
Thank you, Jeff. News block this week is pretty entertaining. Let's start with the big news. I think it's big news that came out. Gotham Knights got a new gameplay trailer showcasing Nightwing and Red Hood. I'm not into the comic books. I haven't been very excited about this game. Have either of you looked into or followed along that people are somewhat upset that Red Hood apparently can like magically jump?
Yeah, I saw that today.
Like, he can just jump across the sky with like just magic platforms or something. Like, what is happening?
He's been resurrected, so now he has whatever those powers are.
He can walk on.
Oh, and he has non-lethal bullets.
Yeah, that's also
he's shooting like rubber bullets at people.
Red Hood, the person who's
Could you imagine
brutally murdering
trying
people.
to de-violence Batman?
Yeah, he's his thing is killing.
Specifically,
people.
Red Hood, he kills. Like
that's
he's
his
like
whole
the
thing.
anti-Batman. So you take that away from what's the point? What's the point?
Yeah. So I wanted to at least bring that up because I know people have strong feelings about that. Like I don't. Like I know the character of Red Hood. I've followed that arc minimally, but I'm aware of it. I'm not. Before we even get into the rest of the news, I'm just not very excited about this game, guys. Like I don't know. Like they show it to me and I see it and I'm like, I guess it looks like Arkhamish, but like without Arkham. And I'm wondering, like, is the city as fledged as like what we expect with an Arkham game? It hasn't looked like it in a lot of what they've shown. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just missing that hook, and I like Batman games, like I like the Arkham games. I did look up, by the way, the Arkham Knight does run in 4K on PC, so I'm probably going to give that a go at some point, but this game's not doing it for me. They did announce that they've canceled the last gen versions of these games, so there will be no PS4 or Xbox One games. I saw a lot of people celebrating this online. I'm not among them. I think if they announce the game for the older consoles and the game could run in a playable state, they should have launched it for that. It doesn't mean they had to launch it day and date. They could have delayed it, right if they had to, but I don't see the need. They haven't shown me anything that makes me think that it can't perform on a PS4.
So that leads us into a question that comes from Rob. He says, how do you feel about more projects going next gen only while consoles are still hard to get in stores?
My thoughts remain the same that they did when everybody argued about this, and I was the only person that was saying it was a good thing 2 years ago. I think cross-gen is a good thing. I see no reason why we can't support those older. It's no different than like, is this game playable on PC on a GTX 1050? Because if it is, then put the damn thing on PS4 and sell more copies of the game. Like you drop it to 30 FPS, drop it to 1080p, and sell the game. Like to me, I don't get it. Unless slimming down the work, the target just makes for a more polished experience or a faster experience. But just eliminating them outright, I don't get it. I think
like I'm not mad about this. I'm not mad that they're only making them
I'm not mad
next gen only. But I do, and I think that a lot of it has to do with just development time, because we know that they can make it work, and it's always a matter of time. And it's a matter of resources. So I'm wondering if a lot of what we're starting to see with people being like, you know what, just scrap the last gen version. Is it so that they can pivot and put more people focused on just getting the game out the door? Like, is it taking too much time to make sure that you can have it running on both? Like, Arkham has been delayed. It's taken so long. This was announced a while ago.
That's what I was going to say. I can't imagine that's the case with how long this game has been in development.
Like, is it because it's been in development for so long and they've had so much trouble actually just trying to get the game out that they had to say, okay, we got to take this team off the last gen version and get them on the next gen version so we can actually get this thing running and shipped? Like, I'm wondering if like that's part of what we're seeing is just that it's taking too many resources and too much time to try to do both, that they're only going to just go ahead and, all right, we're just going to shift the focus to just this current gen.
Maybe. Could be.
That's my only thing that I can think that's why we're starting to see this, is that it's just a matter of resources and time that they don't want to spend, which I think is dumb, because I feel like there's so many more PS4s, there's so many more Xbox One, like that's a huge install base that you're missing out on.
It definitely is. And we see things like Flight Sim come to Xbox One via streaming. You can still play the game via Game Pass. You just stream the game. So like there are other alternatives to also fixing, to passing that divide. But we've seen so many cross-gen games the last 2 years. So many that I can't, like, if you're like, we have to do this to get this game out, then that makes me worry about this game far more than I already am. Because it's like, dude, if you're doing this, then like, what Call of Duty shipped on both? Like, there's so many games that shipped on both. Like, what are you guys doing?
Look at
this game has been in the works forever.
Put on Call of Duty.
You know, like, there's just been a lot of things that have crossed that divide. I don't think it's nearly as the effort that people think it is. It's not, like I said 2 years ago, this isn't a case of, you know, Xbox to 360 or 360 Xbox One. This isn't that case. This is a much simpler case. I don't mean to demean that work. It's just not as much as people think it is. You know, it's not what we were traditioned to think about cross-gen support when we were coming up. Like, getting a game from 64 to GameCube was a monumental effort. This isn't that anymore. It's not that anymore. So, you know,
I need a developer to come out and like give us an actual rundown of like, this is what it takes to actually make sure a game is cross-gen. I need somebody to come out and just tell us, like, because quite honestly, it's like I can't imagine why they would scrap the last gen unless they just are having so much trouble getting the game running.
I don't want to suggest this as the case, because I'm definitely not. I want to be clear. I'm not saying this, but we have seen stories in the past to where publishers will actually pay developers to do so. And it's another potential outcome that could be the case. This could be like, hey, we want to focus this game. It's a Batman game. We expect it to sell consoles. Like, we really want it to just be next gen only. That could be a thing.
Possible.
And they also might not just, they could also possibly think that they just won't sell a whole lot of last gen copies. Like, that you do run into that point with every generation where the juice just isn't worth the squeeze, right? Like on PS2, that squeeze was there for a while, but on PS3, it wasn't. Like, that cutoff was pretty swift.
Oh yeah.
We had a few cross-gen games that were announced, and several of them were canceled and just moved to PS4. But those consoles also sold faster. But I want to say that I also think that both of these consoles, for as limited as the supply has been, the install base for both 2 years in is pretty strong.
I feel like if you really want a PS5, you really want an Xbox, you can get one. I mean, Rob just got a second one.
Think about it. This game isn't going to sell 50 million copies. Like, very few games do, right? They're probably looking at, I don't know, it's a Batman game, so I want to be nice. 10 million copies sold,
5-10,
right? So they're probably thinking the majority of that is going to be on next gen hardware. So it's probably an easier decision to make. But I still don't. I'm not going to say that I like it.
No, this is
Montreal, right?
Montreal.
Yeah. This
Rocksteady is Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they announced pre-orders that were out. They're out today. They're out yesterday, and they did include a stupid edition. It's $300.
It's the price of a console.
It is $300. It has an awesome statue with all the characters.
Big statue.
So if you're really into Nightwing and Batgirl, like, you might really want that statue. But $300.
The statue is Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin. I think it's Damian Wayne.
No, it's not Tim Drake.
It's Tim Drake? Okay.
Tim Drake.
Okay, I was trying to figure out my son. It was Tim Drake and Damian Wayne. And it's Red Hood, who shoots rubber bullets at everybody.
Rubber bullets and magically
it's not even rubber. It's probably like phantasm bullets. It's some mystical bullets.
Mystical bullets. Shoots mystical, non-lethal bullets. He knocks you out with magic bullets.
It's Red Hood. I need to be able to headshot fools
dumb
and
as hell, man.
Like, it's Red Hood. Why would you do this?
I don't have a whole lot of hype for this game.
What's funny is they also show, like, in that trailer, somebody getting kicked off the side of the building. Like, this isn't
Nightwing did it.
Do they just fall to their death, or is it another one of those things?
It's like WWE. There's like there's a stage on the other side that they land softly on.
What game is it where you can knock fools off? It's Spider-Man. You knock them off, and they somehow magically get whipped to the side of the building. So I'm imagining it's a Batwing type device. It grabs them and puts them on the side, because you can't kick people to their death. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
I'm also not excited for this game.
I haven't been since they announced it. And I thought it was because I'm not as into the non-Batman characters. Yeah, I think that's maybe a part of it. But also, like, the multiplayer, the co-op part, like, all of those things were lessening my excitement. And then when they actually showed us the game, I was like, it's not doing it for me.
Nightwing's combat seems way too floaty and
maybe on Game Pass, or
Red Hood is clunky
on budget or something, but I'm not going to pre-order this game.
I'm gonna pre-order it. I'm still.
We
gonna
know
try
you
it
are.
out.
Dude, we know you. You're gonna do anything
know
that's
you
a
are.
superhero in it ever.
Yes, that's
Like,
right.
He's
we
just gonna
get it.
pick up all the games. Period. That's what he does.
Well, that's true. But especially if it's a superhero game or a Transformer game, this dude's buying it.
Yes.
You want to hear
Period.
about the Batman game? Listen to XP because him and Haley will definitely play this game.
I'm definitely
and she'll
playing it.
probably force Delvin to play it with her.
I'm
That is
actually
also
surprised. Look, we got Chris here. He says even if Batman was in it, he wouldn't be that excited for it. I'm surprised to see so many people, I
Batman's
guess,
gonna be in this game.
kind of agreeing with me. Because I remember when they first showed it, I was like, nah. And that was a minority response. Like, no, I felt very alone that day.
This man said, I'm still looking for the Meteor Man game. Wow.
I'm still looking for the Meteor Man reboot.
Wow.
Make it happen, baby.
That is a deep.
Don't threaten Delvin with a superhero game.
Yeah.
Lord of mercy.
Yeah. I'm way more interested in Suicide Squad. Let me murder some things. Get this.
Yeah, I am too.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to murder people in Suicide Squad. You're gonna shoot Jesus bullets there too.
Oh god.
Tranquilizer darts.
Harley Quinn is killing somebody. I'm sorry.
Right? Yeah.
She's killing somebody.
We've got some financial wrap-ups to cover. Both Nintendo and PlayStation have hit the airwaves with some financial year reports. So let's start with PlayStation. 19.3 PS5s have sold worldwide since launch. They've shipped 2 million this past quarter. I'm going to bring up the quarter a lot in this reporting. But both of these totals are lower than their forecasts were due. That's 19.3 since launch. So for 2 years, I think the target this year was they wanted to ship like 20 million PlayStation 5s this year. And they are woefully lower on that. And we've talked about their supply issues all year long. Operating profit was also lower than estimated, as Sony plans to buy back 200 billion yen in Sony shares this year. PS4 and PS5 game sales have been high, although annually they're a little lower than normal. But in the last quarter, again, I'm going to keep bringing up this quarter. In the last quarter, we sold 14.5 million copies of games. That is double what they did last year at the same quarter. So it's very strong growth. They forecast 18 million consoles to be sold in the next fiscal year. And I saw this just a few hours ago before I took a nap. I wanted to bring this up. So of the 18 million PS5s, Sony CFO Hiroki Tataki said that they have put in measures to counter their production issues and shortages. We've changed our source of procurement. And we've also changed our design. So that new Japan system name, it's going to be the same PS5. It's going to have slightly different internals. That's for real.
C002.
And in this quarter, I think they outproduced their UK and Europe lineup of PS5 in this past quarter 500% over the previous quarter. So we're starting to see PS5 show up again. And that's why I thought it was best to, because if you focus on the annual stuff, like in the headlines, annually, everything's a little low. Like even the PlayStation Plus subscribers dipped less than 1 million, but it dipped. So if you're looking at the annual report, you're like, things are kind of, holding steady or they're a little light. But if you look in the last quarter, things are really strong. And I think that's a better showcase of their demand and their efforts to meet that demand. So hopefully at least on the hardware side moving forward, I think for the next 12 months, if you're out there, if you're still searching and trying to get a PS5, I think you're going to be able to get one. I don't think 18 million will satisfy demand to the point where we'll see them just sitting on shelves. But I think if they can actually make 18 million, I think the majority of people that want to pre-order one will be able to get one.
Absolutely. I don't think it's going to be a problem to really get a PS5 like in the coming future. You're going to be able to get them. They're not going to be on store shelves, but you'll be able to get
you won't be able to have to get one within seconds of it going live. Like they may have pre-orders that are up for a couple days. I think if they can actually make 18 million of them, it's hard to sell 18 million consoles. People don't think of that, I think, often because they think of these install bases. They're like, they sell 100 million. There's 100 million people out there. You got to factor in people buy multiple consoles. They upgrade to new consoles. Like there aren't 100 million people trying to buy a PS5 right now. There's probably more like 30 to 40 million that are trying to buy it right now. There's probably another 50 million that are waiting on a certain game to come out or waiting on a certain holiday or tax time. Like it takes years to build that kind of install base. So if they can make 18 million with their new supply chain, that should make most people happy, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Which is good. Because going to year 3 is a tough time to be struggling to produce units. Which is a great segue into Nintendo. The Nintendo Switch has sold lifetime 107.65 million Switches. This is 6 million more units sold than the Wii. They sold 23 million units this past year. It's a little softer than they were hoping for. It's down 20% from last year, which Nintendo blamed on component shortages. Software is up 1.8%. The last 12 months was the highest annual return for games sold ever in the history of Nintendo. Ever. NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, DS, Wii, ever. They sold more games this past year than any other year in the company's history. That didn't stop them from announcing a 10-to-1 stock split for October. Now, this stock split has been coming for a very, very long time. I think a lot of investors have been wanting Nintendo to split the stock for years. I remember hearing about this like back in the Wii U. So what this will do is it'll split every share that they sell at 10-to-1, which should lower the price individually per share, which should increase investor demand, right? It'd be more affordable to buy Nintendo stock. But this will be after Nintendo buys back 430 million worth of shares, which they did today. So they're going to buy back some stock as well, just to make the shareholders, enjoy their stock a bit. In somewhat sad news, Metroid Dread has sold 2.9 million copies. That's the best in Metroid history.
I was going to say, why is that sad news?
I think that's sad because Kirby, which launched a half year later, has sold 2.63 million copies sold.
Yeah.
But we know Metroid is super niche. It just doesn't sell.
Well, I think that's why it's sad. I'm not saying it. I don't think it's sad. I think it is because it might mean that there are not a whole lot of Metroid games being developed in the future. This has always been the thing with Metroid. People say, we love Metroid. Why don't you make Metroid? And the reason Nintendo doesn't make Metroid is it doesn't sell. It doesn't sell as much as I think the fans want it to or think that it does. I'm a little let down because I was sure that Metroid would sell 5 million copies. Like, you flash back to Shaq 2 years ago, and I was like, dude, Dread's going to kill. Because everything on Switch is killed. Everything on Switch. Like, if you take a franchise on Switch, or like a Nintendo franchise, and you put a Switch game out, it sold double like what it was expected to do. You're talking about they sold like 13 million copies of Ring Fit. They sold 40 million copies of Mario Kart 8. Like, Yoshi sold 6 million copies. Like, I was for sure, with all the marketing and the system and the amiibo and the great reviews and the Switch, I was like, Metroid should be good for 5.
Let me ask
and
this.
It's like half that.
Do you think it would have did better if it was a 3D Metroid game?
I don't know. I really don't.
Those don't sell either.
Yeah, I like they're gonna do a remake. By all the rumors, like we have Metroid Prime remake coming, and it makes me really worried. Like maybe what is that going to sell?
Like a new Metroid Prime game in general. Like, hey, this is the new Metroid Prime, and they show you all the bells and whistles of how it looks now. Maybe that's what they're looking for.
I mean, you're running out of. I would, if you're looking for hope, Delvin. Yes,
I am.
But you're running out of things to hope for with Metroid. Like, it just doesn't sell. Like, we've got 30 years of history across multiple releases. Like, it just doesn't move units. Like, even their basic stuff does. Like, Switch Sports is going to significantly outsell this, like 5-1.
Sell the IP to a different brand.
What was the
sell it to Microsoft, sell it to Sony, sell Metroid to somebody else that'll actually move that game. Please.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'd hate for Retro to go anywhere, and I mean that would never happen. But like, you would think that if it would appeal to a different base, maybe it would sell more, because it is a very hardcore game on a what most people think is a casual system. But Zelda sold gangbusters. Zelda sold like 35 million copies. That is insane numbers for a Zelda game. Like, a really, really great Zelda game sells like 8, 10, and Breath of the Wild sold ridiculous bananas amounts of. And like, Skyward Sword has sold like twice what this game has sold. And Skyward Sword is a port. It's a port game, and it's sold way more than Metroid.
Metroid just, the Nintendo people just aren't feeling Metroid, clearly.
Like, it's down there in like
I'd play it more if it was on a different system, to be perfectly honest. I didn't finish Dread because I don't want to play my Switch.
Yeah, but I mean I don't think that's very.
So I'm just saying, I'm just wondering,
Yeah,
like, if it was on a different console, would it sell more copies?
I think a game like Metroid would appeal to people on a different hardware set. I think, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little sad.
Maybe this is just not what Switch fans want. They kind of want the Animal
Clearly,
Crossing.
it's not what
Well,
the
Animal
Mario
Crossing is a monster.
Yeah,
But then again, how do you? I want to look up some Switch games. Switch games rule sales.
How does Doom sell on Switch?
Not super. I think less than 1 million copies of Doom sold.
Yeah, so
things where you're murdering stuff doesn't.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was.
If it's
that's
not
exactly
colorful,
what I was thinking.
cartoony murder, I just don't think it's moving units.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Maybe that's the situation. Like, hey,
yeah, it just needs to be more family friendly. Like even Zelda, like you're going around killing things, but it just has a more cartoony, more family friendly feel to it. Where Dread is like it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if that kind of stuff really appeals to like, is that what you want on your Switch? So I just don't think that's ever going to move. And that's my favorite Nintendo franchise.
Yeah, Bayonetta and Astral Chain also sold really, really light.
Yeah.
Like 1 million copies for both.
I think that's exactly what it is then.
Yeah.
People just don't buy those games on Switch.
I didn't write it down. I want to say like it sold extremely light, even to like their most casual games. I didn't write down all the numbers from their financial reports, but I mean it's real light.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like they gave it a really huge marketing push.
I agree. They did.
Really huge.
It was everywhere.
I was certain. Everywhere. I was like for sure 5. Like everything 5 for sure 5. No, it did not. So
yeah, I bought the $100 version of it.
Same.
So did I.
Yep. They did reconfirm their 2022 releases. So coming forward for Switch, again, this is not news, but just again, they reiterated that these games are coming this year. Bayonetta 3, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Mario Strikers Battle League Football, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and Splatoon 3. It's a lot of exclusives for system.
Yeah.
Did they confirm Mario Rabbids, or was that Mario Rabbids 2 that was only going to be like in the UK or something and wasn't coming to the US this year?
So that screenshot that's going out, I think, is being misrepresented because I think that screenshot was showing Nintendo publishing it in certain regions and Ubisoft publishing it in other regions. I think is what that screenshot did. I think that was definitely misleading some people. Ubisoft did. They also came out today with an annual report, and they did mention Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope as being on their release schedule before first quarter fiscal year 2023. So this fall, like this game's coming out this fall, which is exciting. Breath of the Wild 2 is currently listed for spring 23, and Metroid Prime 4 and Advance Wars are listed as to be announced. I think Advance Wars is going to come out this fall. Like maybe January, but yeah, I think it's coming out. I think it's going to come out sooner than people are expecting. I do.
It wouldn't surprise me because I don't feel like Ukraine is getting enough. It's not in the news. It's not as
past. It's past. I'm with you.
We're done with that drama, and now we're back to Trump. So let's go ahead and release Advance.
So like, I was for a while, I was like maybe spring, October, but as we just mentioned, they've got a lot of games to get through. So I wouldn't be surprised if Advance Wars pops in like December or January. I think they can throw that in the back of an announcement and it'll just come out and people won't. You know, I think at that point, like, especially if they launch around the holidays, like I don't think they'll get the press that they're scared of.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
And then Breath of the Wild 2, I mean, that's the big carrot on the stick. Who knows? There's a lot of stuff that came out about, their next console and stuff. We'll leave that for Shaq to cover. I talked about it in the Discord, but yeah, that's not our show. Go listen to Nintendo Shaq, then cover the rest of it in more details. I do care about this news quite a bit. Xbox went offline for multiple hours over the weekend, Friday through Sunday. It has been restored. Service has been restored. They have come out with a promise that an update is coming with full mitigation to the problem soon. They haven't mentioned what the problem is or if there'll be any changes to their DRM policies. I don't know if you guys were affected this, but I was. When Jack Yomi came out on Friday, I tried to download the game. I've had an issue with PC Game Pass forever. Like my PC Game Pass app sucks.
I
It
hate
blows.
I've been saying this since it came out.
I constantly have to restart Xbox gaming services because the app caches and it just freezes. It never loads. Like you have like this, and I'm not sure if this has never happened to you. One, count yourself lucky. But if you want to know what it's like, if you ever try to go into your Xbox or Microsoft account on the back end and try to wait for all that to load as well, I'm pretty sure they're using the same services, or at least checks, because it's very similar to like their like cache loading screen. So I was furious that this happened, because this has happened a few times when I've tried to play a PC Game Pass game. And it's not like the end of the world to go scorched earth over, because I just go into apps and features in Windows 11 and I restart Xbox gaming services and it snaps into place and I download my game. Except that didn't work on Friday. I did that and nothing happened. So I was like, what the hell is happening? So then I deleted the app and I was like, I'll just reinstall the app. I couldn't even reinstall the app from the store. And I tried starting, because I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but if you download a game from PC Game Pass app, it's in the Microsoft Store. Like it's just a reskin version of the Microsoft Store. So if you go in the Microsoft Store, you can launch the game from there as well. I tried doing that and it also wouldn't work. And I was super pissed. Like now I'm getting angry. I went to my console, couldn't even launch it from there. Couldn't download it I was furious. I couldn't do anything. Now on the console, I try not to get as angry over these things, because my console is not my home console. I game share with Kevin, so my console is Kevin's home console, so I can only play Kevin's games that he owns locally. But needless to say, this is a widespread issue, like everybody across multiple regions. And I really was upset on Friday because they were like, we fixed the issue. The issue definitely wasn't fixed for me. And if you go to that tweet and you open the tweet, thousands of people are like, you definitely did not fix the issue. So I don't know. I don't like that they didn't say what the issue was. Somebody pulled a lever somewhere that fucked things for thousands of people, and they didn't say what it was. But they also haven't mentioned what the fix is, just that this won't be happening, I guess, again. But I mean, that's always the case.
I saw several rage tweets and rage quits from games not working or cutting off in the middle of games. Yeah, this was bad.
This is the trade-off that you get for digital convenience. You know, like you have to deal with this. This is what happens. You have to deal with outages.
Just want the thing to say that I own it so I can play the game.
Yep. So hopefully they fix it. Xbox also brought Fortnite back to mobile, so you can play Fortnite on iOS via Xbox Game Pass. You can stream the game in the cloud, and they announced that more free-to-play games are planned. It was a neat little boost. Fortnite's a big deal, and I saw a lot of people talking about this when it happened.
Suck it, Apple.
Yeah, I'm not going to stream Fortnite, but I bet streaming Fortnite is better than like Switch plays Fortnite.
That would not be a surprise at all.
Yeah, I bet it's better.
Huh, interesting.
But
I wonder if it's better than Fortnite.
John 32 says bring back cartridge only. That doesn't even fix the issue, because if you play a game on Switch that needs a patch, like they tell you, like you need to patch your game before you can play, unless you have like a full copy of the game that runs on the cartridge, which is rare. But you know, there are still, well, not crazy rare. Not all games do that, but there are a few that still play. You can play offline, like a day zero version of the game, but several games I know do require a patch. It's just the new normal, man. Just got to get used to it.
Yep.
The onus isn't on go backwards. The onus is be better. Like the onus is don't have services, don't have outages, don't do this. I do think
let Craig into your server room and have him unplug stuff. All right.
Maybe stop more relaxed DRM check from Xbox would be nice. I don't think like the check is every time you boot the game, and it would be nice if like that check could be stored for maybe a week.
30 days or something.
Yeah, 30 days seems like, I feel like 30 days really opens the door for piracy. But
if it's digital,
2 weeks, like how 2 weeks, I think if you did it for 2 weeks, I don't think anybody would ever notice.
Yeah.
2 weeks would probably solve the issue, because by the time 2 weeks is up, you're probably going to hit the internet at some point. In 2 weeks time, like, just give a little buffer. So people don't encounter these issues.
It's a bit much. It's a bit much.
Yeah.
It's a bit excessive.
Nintendo does the same if you're not playing on a home console. It checks in at every launch.
Wow.
Yep. Nintendo held an Indie World today. Did you guys watch the show?
Nope.
Got any highlight? Oh wow, so it's just me. Well, I can
You
tell
know I
you
wasn't gonna
guys
watch it.
that there was no Silk Song, there was no Sports Story, and Mineko's Night Market has still not been mentioned by Nintendo for like 4 years. That game has been shown. Like the game still isn't out. Yeah, it's
No
this
Silk
cat,
Sonic, he said.
it's this cat game.
Silk Sonic is so good. We need them.
Dev, if you want to look up something, look up Gunbrella, which is a Devolver game called
Gun
Gunbrella.
or gum?
Gunbrella.
I should have known.
That was my highlight of the show. I thought that game looked great. So that was my highlight of the show. And if you want more information about every game that was shown, go listen to Nintendo Shack. There was a game with like monkeys that swing. I forget, it was like Gibbons or something like that. It's like this platformer and it has like a cute little story. I was gonna play it, and I guess this might be a nice little tangent. I went to go look at the game. It's out today. It's a shadow drop. It's out on Switch. There's a demo on Steam, which I downloaded. It's $10, which isn't anything, right? Like that's cheap for a game. 3 years ago, I bought so many $10, $15, $18, $20 indie games. And the last 2 years, like all of that business has completely gone away. Between Game Pass and Steam sales, like I have no interest. Like if I'm not going to play that game, that indie game, right then, like if I'm not waiting for that game to drop, if it's not Sports Story, right, or Katana Zero or something, I'm not going to play it right then and there. Like I'm just like, I'll wait. Because I'll pick that game up on Steam for like $2 at some point and get to play it when I want to play it. And like I don't know, is that good or bad? Like it made me kind of feel bad. Like, is that a bad thing? I mean, I'm just taking care of me.
It's the Game Pass and Steam effect. Like if you have the option, and that's the other thing. There's so many games.
Yeah,
you don't need to get it right now.
Like I was going to get it, and I was like, I'm playing Far Cry. I'm not going to play this game for weeks. So I'll just wait a few weeks, and then maybe I'll get it on Switch, but probably not. So I don't know if that's an issue for Nintendo. I would love to know if there was like somebody we could talk to. Like, is Nintendo feeling the squeeze, like on the margins with stuff like this?
I mean, I don't think so, because I mean, how many people are in your specific,
for sure,
where you've also got this 4K amazing PC. But you could get on the Switch, but I got it better here, but I could get on the Switch. Like Garrett, for example, is probably going to get those games on the Switch. He's got a PC, but he's not.
If I was on the move more, I would.
Mm-hmm.
The Switch would matter, but I'm not on the move anymore. So like the Switch is like last option. It's got to be. It's got to be like an exclusive.
It's a Nintendo system.
It is.
It's a Nintendo system.
It's got to be exclusive. 100%. If it's exclusive to the platform, then I'm interested.
Gunbrella. That's a yes.
Yeah, Gunbrella looks dope.
Please be excited. I will pick that up on PC
for 100%.
I googled Gunbrella, and the first thing that came up was hot leather men's concealed carry leather vest.
How did you get that when I got just
type
the
in
game?
Gunbrella and it says Gunbrella for Nintendo Switch, Gunbrella on Steam, Gunbrella IG.
That's what I got. I got YouTube links.
The hell are you doing on your
first
computer?
Thing that came up
what browser are you using? What search engine?
It was products related to Gunbrella.
Dude, I'm Bing. That's what I use.
And then it says videos.
I'm using Google, and it's just videos for the game. None of this nonsense that you're looking for.
I got a leather vest. I can hold a gun in.
You got the Florida browser results.
That's probably what it is. Gunbrella's under it. Like it says, videos for Gunbrella, and it shows all the stuff for Gunbrella. It looks good. But I got a stun gun. I got another type, no actual gun, a bulletproof vest, a mini vault for more guns.
Oh my god! Speaking of guns,
if
you want to hear just how small these console install bases are, Call of Duty Mobile has reached 650 million downloads.
Wow,
that's insane.
More people have downloaded Call of Duty Mobile than like PlayStation has ever sold total systems.
That is, I mean, it makes sense.
Call of Duty Mobile I think in its credit, Call of Duty Mobile is pretty stellar. Like it is definitely like a mobile. Have you guys played it?
No.
It is a mobile like Call of Duty experience. Like you play squads and all that. Like it's legit actually. So I think on the mobile side, it doesn't surprise. I know like when they had controller support for a while, which I think was big on like Apple TV and stuff like that, and they patched it out and people were big mad. They want to make everybody use touch controls. But yeah, Call of Duty Mobile is a thing. PS3 and Vita got new OS updates this week.
Yes,
two-factor authentication is now required on every sign-in.
Fuck you. Not doing
every time you sign in on Vita and PS3, you will be required to two-factor authentication, and it is no longer possible to create a new PlayStation account from those machines.
Let it die.
That will actually significantly hinder how much I'm willing to play my PS3. Like just knowing that I've got to jump through those hoops and pull out my phone, I'm like, just forget about it.
This is how they push you into that
premium tier.
Premium tier.
What a mess! Everybody's like, when they push you into the what is it called? What a disaster.
Should have just been fucking bronze, silver, and platinum. Like, just
call it the PS3 tier. Like, just call it the back compat tier, the free game a month tier, plus, the live tier. Like, what a mess.
That shit don't even go together.
What a mess.
Yeah.
In our buy and sell this week, Grubb says Xbox will launch a cloud device. He specifically mentioned a puck, but it could be a puck, it could be a stick. But he expects that they'll announce it within the next year. Buy or sell.
The next year. So by this time next year,
they're going to announce at E3. Like I'm completely buying this. I was really happy. So we've got a great listener. I'd have to go on Twitter and look it up. I have to get back in my mentions. There's back there. It's Shadow Gate, something like that. What is his user account?
The Xbox book.
Can't remember. But when I retweeted it, he was like, you said this 2 years ago. And I was like, you're right, I did. Yeah, like this is obviously the path forward. I don't think this is really news. This shouldn't shock anybody. I've been saying this forever. I said this back when they announced this console. What did I say? Like they're going to turn all the old consoles into streaming boxes. Check. They're going to launch a streaming device. Check. Like that's the whole Game Pass only works if you go this way. Like this has been the plan since they opened it up. And the moment they were like, all of our stuff is day and date on PC, the hardware became ubiquitous.
Yeah.
You have an option to buy from them. You can play over here. They want it on your PC. They want it on your phone. Like the only way their model works as a service is I remind everybody, because I think I'm on the forefront of this. Instead of making 10 live service games like PlayStation, Xbox turned their business into the live service. Game Pass is the live service. They're not making all of their games live services. They are the live service. The only way that model works when you're not selling exclusives for $60 a piece is to get as many people playing as possible. And this has always been the goal. So I'm not surprised at all. Here's what when I said that they were going to do this, here's what I wanted. You guys tell me what you think. I want them to make like a cube. Think of like a GameCube, right? But it's small. Think small like this. Like, look at me. Like a cube, like this big. But it looks just like the Series X. It has like the little grill on top, and it's little, and it's got like
a little thing.
And it's got like think of like a Google Pod, like a little white Google Pod, but it's like a little Series X, like a little cube. And I would do it in white, just so it's very different, right? And it's got like a little power light, a little Xbox button, and an HDMI cord and power cord, and like it's Game Pass. Like you boot it up, and it looks just like your console, but it's streaming. I would like it to be a device that had maybe like a limited option to be able to play some things locally, like maybe like a couple, like an indie game or something like that would be cool. But it's
storage in there.
It's just going to be streaming. Yeah, I'm with you. It's going to be streaming. It's probably going to be. I'm thinking it's going to be like if it were me, I would do $69.99 that comes with a controller, which makes me think maybe $99.99 that comes with a controller.
And you get a free year of
of
you
course.
Get a 6 months
service
of pass. Yeah.
So
it's almost like getting the system for free.
Yeah, just like Stadia tried to do, but better. It'll be better than
much
that.
better. It's what Stadia should have done.
Exactly. They'll launch with Halo and shit. Go figure.
Yeah.
Wild, right? Wild. So that's it this week in the news.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the question.
Oh, hang on. Got a question. Why do we need a device and not just stream through existing devices? I think they're going to do that too, John. I think they're going to have like a.
Aren't they already doing that?
If I think they want to with like Samsung. I think the Samsung like OS will do it. I would think that they would want to do Roku. I'm not sure the Roku hardware can handle it. You have to have Bluetooth communication to be able to map to a controller.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine that's a big part of it. So that's why they're going to do the device. I think the device will actually be, I won't say a hit, but I think it'll be maybe a strong, because I think if the price is cheap enough, like you get into the realm where, let's say you're a devout PlayStation person, but like maybe you're kind of interested in like playing Elder Scrolls or something. Like this is a cheap way to try it. But I also think like stuff like this makes excellent like Christmas gifts. Like it's so easy to gift kids and cousins and nieces.
Xbox in your stocking right quick.
Exactly. Like that shit sells itself. Especially like you have to imagine that you'll be able to download YouTube and like all the streaming apps, Netflix and stuff to it as well. Like that's easy. That's so easy. Like a little Apple TV, but Xbox would be better. Yeah.
Just line the checkout aisles with them, and they'll sell like hotcakes.
They'll sell.
Yeah,
they'll sell. Easy.
Impulse buy.
Yep.
Easy peasy.
Put Halo in the box. Oh God.
Not this Halo. Put a different Halo because this Halo.
Just Chief. Just put Master Chief on the box. Yeah. And it's out.
TV series on the box.
That TV series is good, man. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, dude, anyways, you get a free month of Paramount Plus too.
Why not?
Done.
You know, SpongeBob. Put SpongeBob on the box.
Don't put SpongeBob on the box.
He's the mascot of Paramount Plus. Nickelodeon.
Is he?
I didn't even know he was on Paramount Plus, and I subscribed to it for a month. I was watching
all the Nick
South
stuff
Park.
On there.
I watched South Park and Jackass and Halo.
Yeah, it's weird how South Park is like split between HBO.
I don't like
and Paramount.
I don't like it because you can't watch any of the specials, but you can watch the show. It's what a mess.
The COVID specials on there.
Just put all the series on both.
Please, just do it. Nonsense. So Kyle wants to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the best rating, how would you rate today's Indie World Direct?
5.
I'm going with an not applicable.
I'm going to go with what Donnie said because I didn't see it. So whatever Donnie says is right.
I mean, I just didn't think it was very much of like it wasn't much of a standout. Obviously, it didn't have any of the games that I was really hoping and excited to see. Not that I expected them to be here. I don't think Silksong will ever be announced in an Indie Direct. But of the games that they did show, I also am not very excited for most of them. But listen to Garrett talk about it, and I think, do they announce like 3 or 4 card games? Like Garrett's probably like over the moon about this damn thing. But for me, like a 5. Gumbrella looks great. There is a card game that I'm actually interested in. It's like this artsy game. It's called Card Shark, where you're supposed to, I believe you're either supposed to catch people trying to cheat or you're supposed to cheat at like a poker table, which I'm kind of into. I was like, that looks fun as hell, actually.
Let me try and cheat and get away with
it.
Like
there's all these things about how you can see like the reflections of cards like off the surfaces and stuff around the table. I was like, that looks cool. I downloaded the demo. I'm definitely give that a try. Ooblets. I want to shout out Ooblets. Ooblets is Xbox indie game. I did Xbox games. Been on Game Pass for a couple years. I interviewed Sarah at MomoCon, and she's been working with the Ooblets team for a while. So if anybody's been around with us that long, you've probably heard me talk about this game before. I think Ooblets is a very Nintendo game. It's kind of like, it's kind of like Animal Crossing. It's like this cutesy RPG where you build up a town and then like you have dance battles with people.
So like, Animal Crossing with dancing?
Kind of. Like maybe like kind of meets like Goose Game. Like the art style is kind of a lot like Goose Game. But I think Ooblets could actually find some fans on Switch.
Oh,
so
will. I'm sure
if you're into that type of stuff, give that a look. I liked it. I don't think I liked it as much as Kevin, but me and Kevin both played it when it came to Game Pass. We both played it. Like I played it for about a week. My daughter played it for a couple weeks too. So like, yeah, it's good. Good game.
All right. Next up, Drew says, I love the big Xbox showcase breakdown last week on what's ahead. He says his question this week is, what do you think PlayStation is up to next?
I brought notes. But obviously I will always relinquish the floor to the PlayStation folks if you guys would like to go first.
Go ahead, Devin, because I have no idea. I don't know what the hell PlayStation is doing.
I'll let Donnie go because it's simple. Like PlayStation kind of does their own. PlayStation is just weird. Like they do their own thing. They just like we're going where we want to go.
PlayStation is
Donnie goes those rumor bins. He goes digging deep.
I think PlayStation is in an interesting space compared to the space that they've typically operated in for the last 10 years, because I got really used to PlayStation have really, really long roadmaps and long tails, and you could really line up what was coming. And they've given like a peek behind the curtain. But right now there's a lot of what I would call like uncertainty as to what's ahead for PlayStation for the next 5 years. All we really know is like Wolverine is coming at some point after Spider-Man. And like they have a bunch of live service games planned, and there's a bunch of rumors. So I've got notes. So let's talk notes. A lot of the rumors, and I don't even necessarily think I think these rumors are founded and they're very supported. So I think Sony right now is really kind of double downing on their IP and kind of their nostalgia. I think that's why we're hearing a lot of the remakes and remasters. We're getting the Last of Us remake. We've seen that they just remastered Uncharted, and we got those games that came out, and they're putting those on PC. I think we're going to see more of that business from them.
Just to add into that, they did spend another $300 million to invest into their studio, so that also supports what you're talking about.
Nice.
Like you didn't have that in their rundown,
and like we just saw them revitalize like Ratchet. We know that Twisted Metal is out there, like on the thing. We keep hearing things about Silent Hill. There are rumors out there about Metal Gear Solid. So I think it's like, and I think it all, I mean, Final Fantasy was big for them, right? So I think we're seeing that they're kind of playing that card, and I came up with a reason why I think they're playing that card right now. I don't know if this is true or not. This is just my opinion, but I think that right now they're basically reloading, because a lot of folks may not necessarily realize this, but at the tail end of the PS4, we had a lot of exclusives finally come out. Naughty Dog has released a game. Guerrilla has just released a game. Sucker Punch has just released a game. Insomniac has just released 2 games. Housemarque just released a game. This is a large part of their first-party studio. We have Santa Monica up soon. Like they're up next. So they need time to make their next product. And I think that's why we're hearing so many things about remasters and updates and things like that, because it's a way to keep their studios working, producing content. I also think that's why you're seeing them buy exclusives. Forspoken, Deathloop, like they're buying time is what they're doing. They're buying their studio's time to make new games. You think about a lot of these games are in works for 4, 5, 6 years. So it's not like just 2023 is going to roll around and here comes the next wave of games from all of these studios. Like it might be a while. It's going to be a couple years. So I think it's smart for them to rely on those things. So with that,
and not say anything, because we don't need the E3 of Last of Us 4 years in a row. We don't need the E3 of God of War 4 years in a row. Like, buy the studios, buy the exclusives, get the stuff, have like the little stop gaps while you're waiting for your big heavy hitters to drop their games.
Yep. I wanted to bring up Bend because you would think that they should be up next soon, but based on their last project, like who knows? Like it took them like 9 years to get.
Oh my god, that game took forever.
So who knows? Like I would hope that they would be ready soonish, but who knows? But on the rumor front, they're trying to. I believe there's pretty good founded rumors that there will be a Sly Cooper reboot, as well as Wipeout, and that kind of goes into their strategy until like their next wave of IP comes out. I'm wondering, are they going to go directly with Ghost of Tsushima 2? I don't know.
I wouldn't think so. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think they doubled right down on like Spider-Man, like with Insomniac, like almost immediately.
But I think that
I do think Spider-Man will be next year.
Done. Yeah, I think Spider-Man will be next year as well.
Yeah.
But I think Ghost is going to take a little bit longer if they're doing a Ghost 2 or if Sucker Punch is doing something else. But I do think you are going to see a lot of remasters and remakes just to like fill all of these stopgaps, and those games are exciting. Sony's IP just carries so much weight. So if you get a remake of a Sly Cooper, you get a remake of an Infamous, like that's gonna move people.
I'm gonna have mad FOMO when this Last of Us thing comes out, whatever it is. I think it's gonna be Factions and a remake of the first one. I think they're going to bundle those together for me. And I would, if it were me, I would also bundle like a next gen update for Last of Us 2.
For Last of Us 2.
I would just make it a whole collection.
If they're smart, they put it on PC as well soon, like not a year, like 3 to 6 months. I think
that's the reason that you remake The Last of Us 1. It's not just the TV show. I think the reason that you remake Last of Us 1 is to put those products on PC and sell a lot of money. Like if they were just going to release it as just a system exclusive, I don't think there's a whole lot of return on that investment. Like generally speaking, like there aren't 20 million people out there to rebuy The Last of Us. Especially with the remaster already being backwards compatible and having sold so well and have been given away. I don't think you can push that many copies of it. But the reason that you put that amount of investment is if you put it on PC, you might sell 20 million copies of the game.
You get those new eyes on it. People that
and if you get factions, you got people
PS5.
playing your live service game. That game could have legs for years.
Yep.
So I think the PC part of it, I think should be. I would hope that it's a part of their little pillar with that pitch and going forward.
It definitely is. It definitely is. They've said they've redoubled on that. Like they created initiatives for that. And that part of that $300 million that they reinvested into their studios was also for PC as well. And that was all of their first party studios. So I think we're going to start seeing things come to PC a lot sooner. And I think they're going to start with a lot of the older stuff.
Yep. So I think for the big like blockbuster Sony made IP that people expect from them, I think it's a little light so far, and I think it will continue to be through next year. I think they're going to ride God of War for a while, and hopefully it's as amazing as everybody expects it to be. And then we should start seeing more of what they have plans for these service games that they can kind of put out there and hopefully grow and like foster. Hopefully they stick with it. So that's the thing with service games. You've got to really be committed to that model. You can't just put them out, take a hit, and then shut it down. Like you got to give that like the Ubisoft. You got to be committed to supporting something for like at least a couple of years. Hopefully you find a community. But yeah, I think they got to give them time for all of those studios I named to reload.
Yep, and they got to buy Square so we can keep Final Fantasy, and then
I do think they're going to buy Square.
Make with the Metal Gear, please. Make with the Metal Gear remake. All right, stop playing with my emotions, and just give me the goddamn Metal Gear remake. All right,
that is the one. I was almost a little scared, hesitant to even write it down because there's a lot of rumors for that, and if they're so unfounded.
Yeah,
like, there's no real strong report to say that that's a thing.
That's been going on for years.
But I would be.
But it's not a rumor of people just wanting it.
If Blue Point remade Metal Gear Solid, I would buy a PlayStation. Like absolutely, like that's something I have to play. I can't not play that.
Blue Point, I need you to go ahead and make that happen, and then we need to make The Last of Us remake exclusive to PlayStation for 2 years. Not to come to PC, just to make Donnie have a PS5. He'll sell in 6 months.
I'm not opposed to that, but I'm kind of hoping that by the time those projects launch and stuff that comes out, I'm kind of hoping that maybe they have like a light model, like a slim model.
No, just bigger.
I still have my plates, so I can always just pick up another one, slap my plates on, and be back in business.
Do you think they are going to make a Pro anytime soon, like a more powerful model?
No time soon, I don't think. They can't even get the regular model out.
No, I think so.
Yeah.
About year 3 or 4, which would be like about this time next year, maybe they announce it and they launch. Yeah, I think
especially
we might get
that revamped supply chain.
See, that's the thing is,
got it.
I think the thing to do that both of them will do will be a reconfiguration, a slim, a disc, a discless, something like that. I think we'll get one of those, and then the Pro models will come. But yeah, I do think we'll get reconfigured something or another. I'm wondering if they would do. It's like on the Xbox side. I think it's crazy because I'm thinking. I wonder if they would do like a disc Xbox Series S with a disc drive. And then I'm also wondering if they would do like a slimmer version of the Xbox One, maybe without a disc drive. I mean, the Series X. And then on the PlayStation side, I mean, I know it's a joke and I know you guys don't hear it, but obviously they need to make the system smaller.
No,
like it's just a weird shape and it's weirdly it's big.
It's fine.
So I think a more traditional looking model, maybe that's easier to configure and manufacture, make a lot of
Sony,
sense
man.
for Sony's
We're
pipeline.
bold. We're not making these regular Joe Schmo systems.
Do I need to
people.
show you every system that they've made for the last 25 years?
Yeah, they all have a curve, so you can't put nothing on top of it.
Yeah.
Okay, it can still have a curve, but it can sit
Don't make it
flat
any
and
smaller.
like
Bold,
yeah.
baby.
No, they'll make
Let's
it
go
smaller.
bold. I pray that they don't.
And I think
we
if you
never
give
get
it like another year's time, like look at what Ultrabooks are capable of right now. You know, with RTX 30 series stuff, like with cooling, like you can.
That is not an Ultrabook.
Well,
Ultrabooks are trash.
smaller
It's just
laptop.
a slimmer laptop.
I think there's an easier path to where, like, we've already seen it. Haven't we seen the PS5 heat sink? Like, didn't they chop down the copper like in half from like the launch day model?
They did make it smaller.
There's room. There's a room there to downsize.
No need.
Yeah.
Keep it big, loud and proud, baby. Let's go.
So that's what I think Sony's doing, and obviously PSVR. Which that's the interesting one, because you guys know my feelings have not changed. I don't think Sony's capable of supporting 2 concurrent platforms at once that are that different. Like if it was a portable, I'd understand, because like with streaming, with porting, like maybe you could take some console stuff and make it portable like that, I would understand. But VR being its own separate thing, it needs its own separate library. Now, I guess they did a pretty good. Like, do you think they did a pretty good job with PSVR one, Delvin?
They did it. They had their moments.
They had like 4 exclusive games?
They've had a few, but the problem with PSVR was they had so many long droughts of nothing coming out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, why bother?
That scares me on both fronts.
Problem.
It scares me for them launching a successful VR business, but it also scares me for like PS5 needs games too. And for every first party studio they dedicate to the other platform, that's another studio that could be making a PS5 game.
Yeah. And also stuff took a while to get to PSVR too. Like even that whole Vader Immortal thing, like everybody else was playing on the Oculus. I'm like,
I think that'll continue.
And then they're like,
years
like later,
that's not going to go away.
Here's
Yeah, it was like Saints
game.
and Sinners showed up way late.
Yeah.
I think that'll continue.
They got to kind of fix that. Not necessarily these games have to come out sooner. Well, sooner would be good, but have something. Okay, they have Vader over here, but you have this cool game to play over here. And that wasn't happening. They were like,
they'll buy exclusives.
Cool games, and they were like, no,
they'll get another
Iron
Resident
Man.
Evil demo or something. Like they'll buy exclusives.
Or if you have games that are first person, like just tell the studios to have a VR mode in mind, so when it drops, there's a VR mode for anything that's a first person.
I don't like
game
that either. Because that's
it's a way to support it.
You can't just play anything in VR in first person like that. It doesn't work.
That's what I'm saying. You actually develop that. Like, here's some money, develop this also in VR. That way, that
makes games take a lot longer.
If you want to invest in your system.
No, I'm with you. I'm
not a fan of VR.
I've said it a bunch. I wish they wouldn't do it. Not because I don't want them to be successful at it. I just, like if they were better at supporting both, I'd be fine with it. But they haven't shown to me that they can be. But like, I like the experiences that they made it. Like, was it Blood and Truth?
Blood and Truth was really good. Yeah.
Wasn't that a first party studio?
Yes.
That game was excellent. That was really good.
Yeah, it was really good. That was really good. I liked some of the third party stuff. Like Astro was good. Star Wars Squadrons was amazing in VR. I love that in VR. I played a lot of that in VR.
I'm just thinking like first party stuff. Like
Star Wars Squadrons.
Yeah, Squadrons you can play in VR. Yeah.
It's really good in VR. It's so cool. Just sitting back, look behind you, see your R2 unit behind you, and flying around like, oh, this is awesome. But you have to like.
I would even argue that's a better VR game than like a regular game.
Yeah,
VR adds a lot to that experience.
I think so. I was going to say the exact same thing.
All racing games need to be VR.
Yeah, F1 in VR is nuts.
That makes
Johnny's
sense. These type of things make sense. These things make sense doing stuff like that, but they have to.
I've messed with it. I would never. It takes too much to pull out the wheel, the pedals, to hook everything in, and then get the VR and then connect it and all that. But I did try it.
That's why you don't ever put it away. You just
I did try it, and it was bonkers. I was like, this is crazy. Like how good it is. It's really good.
Look, just convert your desk into the always wheel availability. And just have the VR unit.
I would have to get like another desk, and then and just get another desk and just have it there, like a separate chair, like just ready to go.
I'm not hearing any problems.
Just slide over. That's a mess. What a
the
mess,
issue.
man.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I think we've.
I wanted to say before we leave, I think I'm somewhat excited that PlayStation has been kept so quiet because I think they're priming for a point where they can actually start talking, and it should be really, really fun. I think it'll come after God of War. Like I think the next time they talk, it'll be very heavily focused on God of War and like some other updates. But eventually they're gonna show up with a bunch of games. It's gonna be really nice to see.
Yeah, I hope so.
Donnie might buy a PlayStation again.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, I've never ruled that out.
Okay, moving along. This one is specifically for Donnie from Dr. Bland Explosion. He says,
Oh, I forgot about this.
I have a question. What's your Steam library count, and do you organize your games?
How do you see all of the games?
If you open up Steam and you go to your library, it should show you everything.
I see.
I have 1, 2, 3.
I have
4,
274 games on Steam.
Let's see, 28. Those are all games. I probably have about 20 games on Steam. Most of my games are in Epic.
274.
Jeez. Do you have them organized in any way?
I do. I have my favorites category, which is where I just kind of stash all of my standouts. I have a VR game category because it's a mess trying to find the handful of VR games that I own. And then I have what I call try these one day. Because a lot of times I'll pick up an indie game or something on sale that I just think looks cool, and one day I want to try it. And when I'm in a mood to play something, but I don't have anything in mind, I usually go to that little shelf and I just pull up the thing and I pick one and I just play it. And if it's something I like, I'll move it into the favorites. And if it's not, I'll just remove it and it goes into the uncategorized and it's dead forever. Like I very rarely go into my uncategorized and just see these other games that I own.
My entire Steam category is just uncategorized.
That's the DMZ. That's just stuff.
I only have 20.
I just got stuff out there. It just exists in this space.
Delvin, do you know what Steam is?
Yes. I can't tell you the last time I've been on my console, my Steam account. Maybe I think the last time I was on there I was trying to send Donnie some Steam bucks, and that didn't work out too well.
Good Lord.
We might need to do that transaction again soon. My PlayStation rewards are piling up. Okay. I think I own about 60 games on Epic, and I probably have about another 20 or 30 on GOG.
Jeez, my Epic library.
Oh, and Ubi, I've probably got 30 or 30 plus games on Ubisoft Launcher.
Ubi, I think I have like 6 or 7. Epic is just dumb.
That's it?
They gave away so many games. Yeah.
I figured on Ubisoft you'd have a bunch more.
Nah. I mean, because think about it, I only started playing on PC like at the end of the PS4 generation. So like I have Far Cry 5 on there. I've got Division 2.
Did I ever tell you that I accidentally bought Far Cry 5 twice?
I'm not surprised.
Like I think I got it on Epic at some point, and then it was on Steam for like $5, and I just bought it thinking I didn't have it on PC. And then when I went into the Ubisoft launcher, it was there again.
Good job.
I own Assassin's Creed 2, Syndicate, Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, Child of Light, Far Cry 3, 4, 5, New Dawn, Immortals, Phoenix Rising, a bunch of Rayman games, Starlink, Steep, Watch Dogs 2, The Division 2, Rainbow Six, Uno.
You literally just own Ubisoft.
This is why Ubisoft.
All of those were free games. I have a lot of those, but they were free.
Yeah, this is why Ubisoft Plus doesn't really appeal to. By the way, did you see the update on the Ubisoft Plus to Game Pass rumor?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Xbox announced an update to the Game Pass for PC app, and it specifically stated in the patch notes, this was before their outage, in their patch notes that we've changed the indexing for you to be able to more easily find EA Play games and Ubisoft games. That's it. There are no Ubisoft games in Game Pass. like everybody was like, what are you talking about? I think there's like one Ubisoft game on Game Pass.
There is now.
So like everybody was like, did they just basically announce that Ubisoft Plus is maybe coming to Game? It's probably coming to Game Pass. Like it.
Yeah.
I feel like they wouldn't have said that just
Do
because.
they make it an add-on? Like how you can have a cable subscription and then have this add-on? Do you think they do that with like Ubi Plus?
I always asked Jeff that. Like I was thinking, like, would they? Ubisoft Plus comes to console, right, to Xbox, and then if you're a Game Pass subscriber, maybe you get it like at a discount. Is what I was kind of thinking. Like, what is it? Is it $14 a month?
Yes, yeah, $14.
And like maybe if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you get it for $7 or something like that. I was always wondering if they would do something like that. $5.
That's how Luna works. Like if you have the Amazon Luna subscription with other streamers, like you can subscribe to channels. So I'm like wondering if they do something like that for Ubisoft.
Knowing Xbox and how they treat Game Pass and how much money they're spending, I doubt it. I bet it would be worth it to them to be like, how many millions of dollars do you need to just put it in Game Pass?
Enough to stop a takeover.
Yeah. You remember I brought that up last week. I was like, this makes a lot of sense now. So at this point, I don't think I'm going to be surprised. I think I'm now expecting Xbox to announce Ubisoft Plus just comes to Game Pass, which would be a big deal it's a huge deal for Game Pass.
Big deal.
Like I've got Game Pass
as soon
for
as
the next
they announce that, I need
7
them to
years
go
or whatever.
ahead and announce the family plan. Just can we just family plan, Ubi Plus, everybody's happy. Let's go.
I'll roll Dev into Donnie's family plan of Game Pass.
I'll play more PC.
Hopefully we get like the 1-to-1 conversion. Because if I've got to trade in all of my Game Pass codes at like 3 for 1, like, ooh. Yeah. You family members might need to cop up some. I'm not just floating y'all for no reason. I've been stashing these codes for a while. This is a significant investment for me. It's my retirement.
My 401k is all in Game Pass.
But it doesn't, it also doesn't surprise me because I think it makes a lot of sense because Ubisoft's calendar is pretty weak for the next 18 months. It's like Skull and Bones,
Don't even mention that trash.
Like Prince of Persia's way off, Creed Infinite's way off, Far Cry's a way off. Like, it's going to be a little light for a while.
What do they have besides?
So I think announcing Ubisoft Plus into Game Pass, getting that bag, and just throwing a bunch of back catalog in there will be great. And they should probably make enough money. It'll still be cool. Like whenever the next Assassin's Creed comes out and it just launches in Game Pass. Like with Activision and Bethesda, like what a monster!
Game Pass.
What a monster! Like who are we missing at that point?
Sony.
Take-Two, missing Grand Theft Auto showing up in Game Pass. Like that's it.
Game Pass taking the world over, one acquisition at a time.
Just get Game Pass.
Next question comes from Kelly. Hi, Kelly. He says, what's one game that others might be surprised to know you're a fan of? I mean, Delvin, you like everything. Downey, you play fucking everything.
I do not.
I feel like you play.
I ain't playing no Final Fantasy.
There you go.
I ain't playing no damn Dragon Quest.
There you go.
Have you tried those games?
Babylon's Fall.
Nobody's
definitely don't try that bullshit.
Let's just be real. Nobody's playing that.
I did play Dragon Quest when it came to Switch. I liked it for about 15 hours.
Yeah, see, you've played, you've dabbled. You dabble in lots of things. Is there a particular game that you were surprised that you liked?
I feel like I've been talking so much. I don't want to let somebody else.
Pinball games. I love pinball games of all sorts and fashions.
God, you're old. You're fucking old.
I love pinball machines. Yes, I am. I'm very ancient when it comes to that.
Do you buy like that pinball game that has like all the different of course you do because they've got the Telltale stuff. Yeah.
The VX pinball. I bought it when it was on, I think it was on PS3.
You definitely bought the Telltale boards, didn't you?
I did buy the Telltale boards.
100% you did. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I did have those.
The moment I asked, I was like, they have Telltale boards.
They also have Marvel boards and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh God, he's the reason they keep making it.
Pretty much. He's single-handedly keeping them in
because they sell like one pinball, but like it's a free-to-play game. But they have like a bajillion different skins.
There's the reason why we have free-to-play games.
And they're like $2.99 each, and that's their business models. They sell you skins.
A whole bunch of skins for different pinball boards, and they're pretty good. I like the actual. I actually like having like a pinball machine. Like I'd probably buy one eventually. Put one in my house.
I'm surprised you don't already have one.
Pinball machines are awesome. but I've always been told that they come like with a heavy maintenance fee.
Yeah, that's
like it's hard. They're hard to maintain. Like you've got to keep them up.
The Kiss one is really good. I like the Kiss one.
Oh yeah, my daughter liked that one too.
There's a few good pinball machines.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has a pinball room with like 100 pinball machines. It's not 100, it's like 50 or something like that. But they've got a bunch, and the Kiss one was there, and they've got all the different bands and stuff. Michael Jackson.
Ooh, Michael Jackson one.
Oh yeah,
that sounds good.
Pinball's fun. I can't hate you for that.
I like pinball a lot.
I don't hate him. I just think it's.
I don't think anybody does though. Would anybody be surprised somebody likes a pinball game? That's not like really surprising.
I don't think people.
I mean, I think it's surprising that pinball games are, still a thing.
Yeah,
I think that's more of the surprise. Because without the arcades, like you don't really think about pinball games. Like that's a thing that still happens. People still make them. Like, oh wow, yeah.
Gallagher, I love Gallagher.
You're old.
They just remade a Gallagher game, and it's called it's on the PS Store. It's called Gallagher something, but it's not made by the people who make Gallagher. But it's literally a Gallagher ripoff.
Oh, there's like 50,000 Gallagher ripoffs.
But this one literally has Gallagher in the name. Like,
that's cool.
Yeah, can y'all do that? I guess it can.
What about you, Dev?
I'm trying to think like something that might actually surprise somebody that I like, and I'm like, y'all know what I like. I don't change it up too much. So I mean, huh? Visual novels? Nah, man, that's you and Garrett. That's y'all. I don't mess with those. No, thank you, friend.
Destiny visual novel.
No, I just want to read it.
You thought about it for a second.
No.
What about what was that Housemarque game that was so divisive? Didn't you love that game?
Which one?
That Rogue game.
That's all.
Kevin and Kyle were into. Housemarque made it. It's on PS5.
Rogue? You talking about God? Well, I can see it. I just can't think.
Yes.
Returnal.
Yeah.
Didn't you like
That's a surprise that I like that? I don't know. It was awesome. Yeah, the game was dope. I don't think that's a surprise.
I don't think people can know what you like in roguelike games. That's probably
I don't often think of you as somebody that plays those games.
I love Sifu. I love Returnal. Like
Sifu, right. I just I don't think of you. I don't think Dead Cells. I don't.
To be fair, you didn't
Hades
believe Sifu was a roguelike game.
That's true.
Yeah, that's exactly. I would have not have considered.
You argued the dev on the game that they made.
Yeah. I still don't. And the Housemarque game, I didn't look at that as a roguelite either. Like it just did to me. It doesn't feel that way.
It's just listeners. Dev doesn't know what a roguelite is.
No, I don't. I refuse to believe. I did. No, this is not a roguelite. You can go to hell with that term.
I think
Child of Light. That was a game that I enjoyed.
That game was great.
Yeah.
Damn, that was a good
Child
game.
Of Light. Yeah.
What a great standout on the Wii U.
No, on PlayStation.
Love that game.
Get out of here.
I forgot it was on the Wii U.
I've got a definite answer, but that's more like tongue in cheek and funny. If somebody hasn't listened to me for the many years that we've been doing these podcasts and video games, I think maybe if somebody just showed up for this podcast, like when we launched in November, do you think maybe that they would be surprised that I like Fire Emblem games as much as I do? Because Fire Emblem is kind of like that JRPG thing that I'm really into, but I really don't like other games like it.
I've heard
really any other game like it. It's just Fire Emblem.
If they just followed you here down, they didn't hear any of you on the Shack, then yes, they'd probably be surprised.
I think so. Yeah. They might be surprised because I don't think people realize how much I like Fire Emblem. If you never listened to Shack,
definitely shit on JRPGs.
Like the reason that Shack, it's in the intro when Three Houses came out, we talked about Three Houses for 2 straight months. I've got I keep all of my Fire Emblem is the one game besides Zelda that I have every copy of my game. I keep all my Fire Emblems.
I remember that.
That would be my answer in real. But the funny answer that I would like to say is Shinron Kagura.
Who?
Oh, they know I play that.
Yeah.
I ain't got to hide that.
I don't buy those games, but they gave one away on PlayStation Plus that I played on Vita. And I'm almost ashamed to admit it, I really enjoyed myself. It was fun. I like warrior games. It was a warrior style game, and this shit was funny as hell. I was laughing
good in the
my ass
game.
off. Oh man, it was great. But
Can't play it around people, but
yeah, you can't admit to playing them.
yes.
But I did like it. It's not a game that I buy. I'm not going to pre-order a Senran Kagura game. But if there's like a Senran Kagura game free on the Epic Store or for $1 or something, like yeah, I might try it because they are funny. Now they're brutally sexually offensive.
Very much so.
But I also, like people that know my taste in horror, like I'm not opposed to liking smut. I'll be open to it. I'm down for it. I love Catherine. Like, yeah, we need more sex in video games.
I watched somebody
bunch of prudes.
And I was like, what is this fucking nonsense?
Catherine? Dude, Catherine is amazing.
Catherine is good.
Catherine is great. Like, oh my God. Like watching somebody play that, like just all the scenes of talking and then like the actual game where you're like jumping on. I was like, Hubert. What is this nonsense?
Yeah.
What is this crap?
Hubert.
No.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
I can't.
It's the decisions that you make, though. It's the decisions. You're missing the point. The point of the game is the decisions that you make at the end of the puzzle.
I don't want any of that.
Yes.
I don't want any of that. I just want to erase the fact that I even know what it is from my brain. That's how bad I thought that mess was.
Yeah, I'm here for scantily clad women in video games.
Yes.
I'm here for scantily clad women in real life. The video game ones don't do it.
Well, I got those too. Like I'm for all. Both.
Both.
Yes.
Why not both?
Yes.
Wow. Jamie wants to know, when do we think we'll see the first pro versions of these consoles? I think we answered that. A couple of years, maybe.
18, 24 months.
Yeah. S7 in Gaming wants to know, what's your favorite collector's edition item? And what's one that you missed or wish you had bought?
Great question.
My favorite one probably is it's not even the game. The game at this point, the games. My favorite one was the Hulk Hogan one I got for WWE.
Oh God, what a terrible answer.
That was my favorite one. Then I found a Hulk Hogan's a piece of shit. So that's somewhere in my house.
Like he's totally racist. He's more racist than Devin.
Yeah. Which is impressive. So my favorite one is my Arkham Knight statue that came with the game.
Nice.
That spoils the game, but that's fine.
This is specifically question is asking collector's edition items. So like if I got something else, it doesn't count.
Yeah, I would think so, because it's not my favorite collector's item I owned, but pertaining to video games, it's my favorite collector's edition item.
What's your favorite collector's item you own?
Well, I did own. Well, my son's gonna get mad at this or bothered by this, but he fucked it up, so it's his fault. I had a ceramic Captain America helmet that looked exactly like the one from the movies, and it was one of a kind. I found it's like
Captain America wears a helmet.
Yeah, in the first movies.
His little. Yeah.
I thought it was like a mask.
No, he's got the little like bucket helmet.
Yeah, bucket helmet almost. If you look at the first one,
blowing my mind.
It's because it's when he's like back in
the day
when he's actually in. Like,
oh
the military.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you. Yeah, I got you.
I found this little shop it was a while back. I found a little shop that had a whole bunch of like ceramic stuff that was made for anime stuff, and they had this one Captain. I'm a big Captain America fan. This one helmet that looked so cool. It was like $70. I bought it and I had it for years. I love that helmet. And one day, my son, being my son, of course, broke it.
Oh no!
I was furious. I was livid because
how bad did you beat him?
I didn't beat him. I wanted to disown him at the moment. Like, you need to move. But yeah,
You're no longer welcome here, sir.
Yeah, it's because it was a one of a kind thing. You cannot find this anywhere else.
Sure.
The person who had the shop made this, and this was the only one they made. And once he broke, I'm like, oh, fuck this. I can't keep this anymore. So I just threw it away. But that was my favorite collectible I ever owned. It was nice and heavy. It felt like an actual helmet, but it was made out of ceramic. It was so well made.
Nice.
I missed that thing.
For me, it's probably a toss-up between...
I think I do have a picture of it.
Ooh.
With me wearing it.
You would put it on.
Of course.
Of course. You don't buy a helmet not to wear.
Yeah.
If it's a ceramic helmet, I'm not putting that on.
It's heavy. It was heavy too.
Right. No. No.
I gotta find that picture now, and I'll post it in Discord if I find it.
Nice.
Yeah, I think for me it's either just because I really like the statues that came with them, the Assassin's Creed 3 or the Uncharted 3 collector's
That
edition.
Assassin's Creed 3 edition was dope.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I still
That
got
was
it
a
up
good
there.
statue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
that statue
Game,
was
not
cool.
so much. The statue was
Yeah, the
dope.
game put me to sleep, but the
I like the
statue
game.
was really cool. Yeah, so that or the Uncharted one.
It's the
The
last
Uncharted 3.
Assassin's Creed that I completed to credits. Assassin's
3?
Creed 3. Yep.
Oh,
I stopped on Black Flag. I didn't get nearly that far in Origins. Or Odyssey.
There is no credits. There's no credits.
Yeah, and I don't even
Valhalla.
know if you can do it in Valhalla. I played Valhalla for like 150 hours, and I just gave up at one point. I was just like, I'm good. I'm good. We did it. Like I even looked up the ending, and I was like, the ending looked so far from where I was too. I was like, where is all of this? I felt like I was looking at like a different game or some shit. Like,
yeah.
Where did this come from?
Danny, favorite?
My favorite collector's edition is, I've got
Chucky.
I got too many answers. Yeah. I have the Ori collector's edition from that special store that they released. Forget what it's called. The 8-bits, whatever, the 8-bit Ori edition. It's got 2 Switch games. It came with stained glass Ori, the Will of the Wisp stained glass thing. It's got a collector's book. I've got it all right here. Beautiful box. I'll move my webcam. You guys see it right there. My Ori stuff.
That's awesome.
Obviously Chucky collector's item. That is the Trick or Treat Studios reproduction Chucky. He's amazing. I love him.
So
my kids know. Like that's the one thing. Like, oof, I don't even want to speak into existence what would happen if somebody messed with my Chucky doll. I would be so
murder.
Damn pissed. But I don't think that's it. Video game collector's edition is definitely the Scott Pilgrim KO edition that I ordered.
Oh, okay.
That is amazing. It came with like a band kit. When you open it, it plays music and all the characters pop up. And it's got music from the songs, got lights and stuff. And then inside you've got the game, it's got art book, you've got drumsticks, stickers, all kinds of stuff. I waited on that thing for like 18 months. It took forever during COVID to get that thing. I had forgotten about it actually. I was like, oh yeah, I gave this people hundreds of dollars. Like I need to follow up on this. But my favorite collector's item is my Last of Us book. I was looking at it the other day. I have The Last of Us, the comic book, American Dreams. I have the Dark Horse collector's edition of it that includes all of the books, hardcover, bound book, limited copies. I don't know how many the run is, but limited run of that specific edition. Signed by Troy Baker, Nolan North, Neil Druckmann, and Ashley Johnson.
That's the one Shelby got signed, right?
Yep. I saw a photo on eBay, just a 8x10 photo of The Last of Us, like the game, like a scene from the game, signed by just Ashley Johnson, Troy Baker, for $2,000.
Woo!
I can't imagine what my book would be worth to the right person. Like, it's got to be worth something. It's got to be worth a lot more than that.
Yeah, I would think so.
But yeah, I love that book. I love the comics. If you guys have never read American Dreams, it's great. So I was really into, like, I don't count it as a comic, but I mean, it is a comic. But like for years when people were like, are you into comics? I was like, I like this one. This was the one that I really liked. And to get all of the signatures in the story that it's been on, I can't imagine. I could never imagine selling it, but it's definitely kind of like I just feel like it's like a one of a kind piece. Kind of like my skateboard. Like I've got, I think Elaine and I were talking about, we were going to do this one day. We're going to do like a show and tell, but I also have these 2 skateboards on the wall. If you're watching the live show, the Last of Us skateboard is actually from the studio. It's from Naughty Dog.
That's cool.
That was an item that every member of Naughty Dog was given when the game shipped. back when it originally shipped. Not every member, but they were floating around. They've got books and they've got skateboards. I happen to have both. I have a book too of the Naughty Dog Collector's Edition book signed by all the staff. But those were never for sale. They were just items for the staff to have. They signed them like in the studio. So you imagine in the studio, they have like a launch party. They've got this memorabilia around. Everybody comes through. Everybody walks through and signs it. So it's a bunch of people nobody's ever heard of. Plus, like, you know, Neil Druckmann and stuff. Amy Hennig is one of my signatures somewhere, I think, on my skateboard. Nice. But the cool thing about this story is I actually had them verify that my skateboard was legit. It was on sale on eBay, and I was like, that's cool. It would go great with my book. And I was also like, this is a one of a kind item. Like, how do you even price something? Like, how do you value something like this? You can't buy this. So I contacted the studio, just general, like look them up on the email, you know, contact the studio. And I said, hey, there's this person. The person's name will remain nameless, but there's this person who claims they worked for you, and I have their LinkedIn profile, and it clearly shows that they worked for you, and they've got this thing sitting in their closet, and they swear it's real. And they were like, yeah. They're like, and I think they told me, they were like, that's real. He goes, I happen to have one. He goes, there are about 12 of those.
Wow.
He's like, there are only 12 of those. And he's like, I don't know why this person's selling these, but I can absolutely 100%. He was like, that's my signature. Like, he was like the person that wrote me back. And I told him, I was like, I don't want you to value it or anything for me. Just confirm that it's not fake. And then I negotiated a price for it and hung it on the wall. So The Last of Us 2 broke my heart. That's what
happened. Love that game. Yeah. I don't have any other collectibles. Loved it. It was great. I don't have collectible things, so yeah, I ain't got nowhere to put them.
My other skateboard is signed by Phil Spencer.
That's cool.
Speaking of Phil Spencer, TPR says pick one person for each role: landlord, therapist, and roommate from this group of people. Phil Spencer, Suda, and Kojima.
Oh boy.
Okay, let me see that. I can do this.
Therapist is Kojima.
I was going to say that too. Kojima's therapist. Roommate, Suda.
Roommate for me is Phil Spencer. And I'll take Suda as a landlord.
Yeah, I'm kind of going with Donnie the same way. I don't really know much about Suda, but I feel like he's really easygoing. And if I'm late on the rent, it's not going to be that much of a problem.
Yeah. You know, it's a cool guy.
Yeah.
I also don't know if I want to live with Suda. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. Let me reiterate. I don't know if I can survive.
Yeah, you might
living with somebody like Suda 51.
You're still married. I feel like me and Suda have a blast.
If you live long enough, if you make it through the weekend.
Right. Well, I'll be fine.
You're gonna see some weird shit.
Exactly. Just some.
He doesn't speak English.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is it?
Yeah, we'll get along just fine.
Have you seen how he brutally murders characters in his games?
Yeah, I'm fine. That's some things are universal.
I mean, look, he lives in Florida. He ain't never seen before.
That's true. Yeah. Good point.
That man has certain things in his video games that I just relate to. Sex, money, drugs. There you go.
Oh yeah, man. I love me some Suda. I posted an article for anybody in the Discord. I don't remember. Was it Kotaku? Kotaku or Gamatsu. There's an excellent Suda 51 interview floating around this week. You find it on my Twitter profile if you go look for it. And it is in depth about him selling Grasshopper to NetEase and future of the studio and his past and where he comes from and basically his philosophy on game development. And I was excited, just in quick. He said that the reason that he was attracted to NetEase is that they told him that they didn't want to just like acquire the studio and have him start making products. They were like, tell us your 10 to 15 year plan. Like, what is your next game series? Like, what are your next trilogy of games? So that's kind of exciting. That's kind of where he is right now. He's kind of scoping out what he wants to do.
You know what? I'm going to switch.
Destructoid, by the way.
Destructoid. Thank you.
I'm gonna have Suda be my therapist and Kojima be my roommate because Kojima might.
Oh hell no! Definitely not having Suda as a therapist.
That's not therapy. That's not therapy.
It's abuse.
That's abuse. But it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be enjoyable.
It will be funny.
Yeah.
This
you want me to do what?
This is what it is. This is some Florida nonsense. This is what we're getting from Delvin.
I think you should burn the building down.
Set it
That's
all on fire.
illegal.
He is
It's
extremely.
only illegal if you get caught.
He is extremely like introspective, and so is Kojima. So I get that from both of them. They're very similar. Him and Shinji Mikami, like all of them, they came up kind of in the same era. They share a lot of overlap.
Kojima seems like the type of dude who's going, every time you come on, we gonna have a new movie for you to watch.
I couldn't
explain to you
fucking
every
imagine
detail of the movie.
a Kojima Sude 51 like joint project.
That would be cool.
That shit would be the most nonsensical video game.
Thank you. We're on
It would
the
be
same
so cool.
page. Good
It's gonna
lord.
be nonsensical.
What the hell is happening?
Every woman is gonna be in some type of bikini, and they're gonna try to have some elaborate excuse for it that makes no sense. Like, yeah,
Suda's just Japanese Tarantino. Like that I get. You don't want that as a therapist. Maybe as a roommate, but better as a landlord.
Yeah.
Better as a landlord. You can watch that shit from down the hall. Hang out first of
He's
the month.
throwing parties, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all good,
Yeah.
You know, it's cool.
Yeah, but not as the roommate.
No.
You gotta coexist, man.
I gotta live.
I can't. I'm terrible as roommates. Like I'm a terrible person to live. I'm so selfish and like so set in my ways. My house has to be so cold. It has to be so clean. Like I'm not an easy person to live with. I can't just flippantly have some terrible roommate.
Yeah, no, thank you. I feel like Phil will be real easy.
Chill.
Get along, play some games, be real nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Real good. We got a real chill landlord. We can go down and party. He's not tripping on us, being loud. You know, it's all good.
Phil seems like he's chatty. I don't want to chat unless you have something really interesting to say.
But see, Phil will also be real respectful. If you don't want to chat right now, he ain't messing with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've seen dressed down Phil Spencer. Like before he was the head of Xbox, he was like Xbox's cool gamer guy. You know, he was the guy that like sat down on stage and yeah, he still is. So like
I don't want to hear that shit.
I don't think of like business executive Phil Spencer.
I don't want that. Like
I think of like college bro Phil Spencer.
You take that cool shit over there.
Delvin just wants destruction and mayhem.
Anarchy
at all time. At all times.
Just
because that's what he lives in. That's what he's used to.
The Will Ferrell movie. Anarchy! Anarchy!
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and land this plane. That's gonna do it for this episode of the PSVG podcast. I believe it is episode number 36 or 37. I don't know. But it doesn't really matter. Feel free to check us out on the Twitters over at PSVG. Subscribe on the YouTubes at youtube.com/PSVG network. Come hang out in our Discord and bring Delvin along. Ask him to regale you of Florida man stories. I'm sure he's got quite a few.
Yes, I do.
There you go. And I got nothing else. So with that, play some video games.
And quit standing so close to people and check out Lane.
For real.